out the light, or the darkness come. Hold through the night, the shadows will run. Fend off the enemy, sing out the jubilee with all the fire we can breathe. We're singing all day and you can't tame it. High tide, low tide, you know. Night time, the morning time, yeah. We're going strong, headed up, down the river. Oh Lord, I feel the reveling. I feel a change on the rise. What good's a man who's lost his soul? Can't take a stand when his flame's gone cold. Fend off the enemy, sing out the jubilee with all the fire we can breathe. We're singing all day and you can't tame it. High tide, low tide, you know. Night time, the morning time, yeah. We're going strong, headed up, down the river. Oh Lord, I feel the reveling. I feel a change on the rise. I feel a change on the ride. I feel a change on the, I feel a change on the ride. We're singing all day and you can't tame it. High tide, low tide, you know. Night time, the morning time, yeah. We're going strong, headed up, down the river. Oh Lord, I feel the reveling. I feel a change on the rise. We're singing all day and you can't tame it. High tide, low tide, you know. Night time, the morning time, yeah. We're going strong, headed up, down the river. Oh Lord, I feel the reveling. I feel a change on the rise. I feel a change on the rise.
Welcome to Red Snow. Welcome to Red Snow. It is a cold night in the Lane household. Our heating unit is broken, so it is a little chilly. Going to have a phenomenal show here tonight. I am so excited for it. As I know each and every one of you is. It is the end of the season, the end of the volume, the end of an era. Kind of the culmination of 8 years almost of OSW lore. And it comes to a conclusion, climax here tonight. So that's pretty awesome. Before we get started, I got kind of 2 things to hit. Well, 3. Mikey, I got the hoodie. You shouldn't be getting any nips. Unless these dang lights I have on burn me up and I have to take it off. So either way, two things. First of all, huge thanks, Zach, Alex, for those resubs, Ollie for those bits, and Psyholog, hopefully I said that right, on the follow. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate that, guys and girls. Second thing, I think it kind of goes without saying, but sometimes you should say the things that go without saying. A huge thanks to Dean for all of this. I mean, he created all of this. He makes all this happen. This show is a labor of love from him. We're gonna see. I'm guessing just from what he said, a veritable shit ton of images that he's taken time rendering out. All of the segments, the main event match, just so much time and effort put into this event. And, just there's no thanks that I can't, I think that we can all give that would be enough. So, either way, this is going to be a long show. Hopefully, going to be a long night of some excitement. And hot damn, I'm not sure I'm ready to get started. But the other side of it is I'm very ready to get started. I told Dean that in this moment I wish I was Robbie and I could have just read the whole show whenever he sent it to me. But alas, I don't have those kind of skills. All right. Listen, I got 2 Powerades and a water. Hopefully that's sufficient for the evening. Hopefully. All right, let's do it. Let's start this thing off. Already see some phenomenal graphic work here. I can't even get the whole thing on the page at once. So we've got the Chief and Sigil in this Red Snow graphic. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. I love it. I love the effect on it. It's great. So this segment is On Your Own Front Door. Here we go. We're starting off with our usual, our click, our static, our play symbol appearing in the bottom right-hand corner. And we start off with a song. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, as we tend to traditionally do with Red Snow. The sight of snow falling from the beautiful New York City skyline is where we begin, looking up into the wonders of the night. We get a thwack and a thud as the song continues, and an and an R. As the song continues, somebody's fighting. Well, maybe that's what it is. I'm not going to sing the song. I don't even think I have a sing reward, so I'm just going to hastily go past trying to sing. But it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Hopefully you all know that one. We pan down to see a house in the middle of the New York City street, lit by street lamps as our focus appears on the front door. We get a crash, and Sigil comes barreling through the door, snapping the whole thing off its hinges as he does. Of course, it's Sigil. Wood splinters in every direction as the collector rolls across the ground. He comes to a stop in the snow outside, and he looks up, watching as the butcher trundles through the door to greet him. Colin takes a moment to breathe in the cold winter air before looking at the Christmas decorations. Well, thank you for the follow, Seal 1217. He looks up, watching as the butcher trundles through the door to greet him. Colin takes a moment to breathe in the cold winter air before looking at the Christmas decorations that surround him in nearby houses. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, he says with a sigh. But one thing is missing, isn't it, Sigil? Sigil tries to get back to his feet, unable to act, as the butcher rushes in with a thunderous kick to the midsection that sends him recoiling over and onto his belly. We get our first shot, the butcher, looking swole, standing over a hurt Sigil. A little red snow wouldn't go amiss, would it? Colin says with a smirk. Why? Sigil asks with a cough and a splutter. I rescued you. Now we know where this is going. The butcher laughs heartily. No, you didn't. He says with a stern and devious tone. Just then his visage changes into rain. It's Death, the Grim Reaper himself. He doesn't look anything like what we've come to expect. Okay. He's bald and his skin is rotting away before our very eyes. What the fuck is happening to Death? Sigil gulps, rolling onto his side. Now that's a heck of a cliffhanger to start the show. Death. Something's happening to Death. His skin is rotting away. Okay. Let's get trucking. Death is the burn man. All right, everybody get all of your what character is a Volume 3 character out of the way. We know it's not going to happen. But looky here at these handsome devils. We've got the Dead on the left, Kane Nightlord on the right. Here for a segment or a match. Looks like a segment. Nope. Looks like it's a match. We've got the hero and the villain. The Dead versus Kane Nightlord. Something strange has happened to the Dead and Kane Nightlord, and as both approach the ring to duke it out, it becomes apparent that both men are still feeling the effects. The Dead looks woozy, struggling to move with his usual sense of urgency, and Nightlord seems to be in utter agony as the bell rings. Given the condition of both men, they don't charge at each other at the outset, but they do stand toe-to-toe, staring each other down for a moment until the Dead takes a swing. Given the condition, I just read that sentence. The right hand connects against the face of Nightlord, who shouts in response, the punch doing a little bit more damage than normal to both the Nightlord and the Dead, who has to shake some feeling back into his hand after that. Kane snarls at the Dead as he goes for some hard lefts and rights of his own, each punch taking a little bit of energy out of the Hellbat, and doing quite a bit of harm to the Dead in the process as he falls to the canvas. Kane is hurting, something fierce, but he does his best to press on as he lays in a boot to the midsection of the Dead, going a little bit quicker now as his rage starts to take over, except that a sharp pain in his leg stops him cold, forcing Nightlord to step away as the Watcher slowly gets to his feet, catches Kane with a snapmare, wrestling moves. Nightlord is dropped hard to the canvas as the Dead follows up with a kick to the spine, but is unable to follow up on this, having to check his ankle when he steps awkwardly on the canvas. This gives Kane an opening as he struggles to his feet, catching the Dead with an uppercut that the Shadow Bat feels almost as much as the Dead, who falls down hard to the canvas. Seeing his opportunity to end the battle early, Kane drops for a cover. One! No! Struggling as he might, the Dead gets a shoulder up after one, not even a kick out, given the rough spot he's in. Kane, on the other hand, his adrenaline's kicking in. That vampiric power gives him a chance to increase the veracity of his attack as he goes to work on the neck and head of the Dead. The boost of energy dies off quickly, however. Nightlord lets up on the assault and in the process gives the Dead a chance to roll out of the ring. Kane is none too pleased by this as he leaves the ring, giving pursuit to the Watcher, who catches him with a kick to the leg, dropping the Hellbat to one knee, followed immediately with a headbutt, and another. The death rattle! The Dead gets just a couple more in on Nightlord, before having to step away in order to stay on his feet. This gives Nightlord enough time to get back to a standing position, and he rushes the Dead, sending him spine first into the steel steps with a crash. Here we go. The spear. The spear, spine first, into those steel steps. Beautiful, beautiful image, of which we're going to get plenty of these throughout the event. Kane falls to the floor as a result of the damage, so focused on putting the Dead away that he ignores any sort of instruction from the ref as he goes back on the assault. He starts pummeling away at the Dead with lefts and rights, only to get caught by surprise with a southpaw jab by the Watcher. The Dead finds himself rolling into the ring to catch a breather now, as Kane slowly follows close behind as he slides into the bottom rope and right into a boot to the head by the Dead. This seems to exhaust the Watcher, forcing him to take a knee next to Nightlord as he rolls onto his back, only to sit up, glaring with a snarl at the Watcher. The Dead's eyes widen at the sight of this, managing to get back to his feet, just as Nightlord seems to pop right up, but the exhaustion and agony is still evident on the face of the Shadow Bat, and the man staring him down realizes just how close he might be to ending this once and for all. The Dead grabs Nightlord by the arm. He's looking to pull him in for the bullhammer, the final breath. No, it just missed Nightlord by a nose. The crafty Kane manages to duck at the last second, giving him a chance to blindside the Dead as he lunges toward his forehead. Fangs out. Just a bite. No! Or a fist to the face. A hard right hook by the Dead shuts this down swiftly, in turn taking Nightlord down to the canvas. Kane looks out of it as Dead goes for a cover. 1, 2, could this be it? No, it's not. Kane just manages to get his shoulder up after that, but the dead quickly brings him back to his feet, looking for the bullhammer once again. The final breath, it misses one more time. This time, Kane pulls the dead in, the ripcord lariat, the bloody stream, into the Night Raid. Yes, Night Lord transitioned into the spinning kill switch, and he covers the dead. 1, 2, this has got to be it. 3 it is. After one hell of a battle between two battle-weary warriors, Kane Night Lord takes the win over the dead. Congratulations to Chris. Ugh. Hate to say it. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Is Chris even here? I think he may have had to work. All right. We're going to follow that up with what looks like a segment with these fine fellows entitled Ultimate Sacrifice. Okay. That's not ominous at all. They both struggled valiantly through that absolute war, each trying to see the battle through. As they both lay on the canvas, Kane squirming in agony and the dead barely moving, there's an eerie silence amongst them. What's happening to us? Kane demands to know. His once pale and shriveled skin is turning slowly back to normal. The dead doesn't respond. I feel something, the dead finally mutters. I feel a thirst. An undeniable, unquenchable thirst. Ooh, is he turning? Your blood, Kane stammers through gritted teeth. Your blood has poisoned me. There's been a chemical reaction between us. But I sired you. I made you one of us. Painkiller gets back to his feet, weakened, and falls backwards into the corner. Something isn't right, he groans. Just then, he begins convulsing, his entire body shaking like an earthquake. Before you know it, fangs begin appearing from inside his mouth. He's turning. He's becoming a kindred. Kane laughs maniacally. After all you did to stop me, and all you've done is become me, he says with a roaring tone. How does it feel, Kendall? How does the power coursing through your veins feel? You don't get it, do you? He groans. I knew this would happen. I had to try and stop you, Night Lord. I had to stop the thing you were becoming before more innocent people were hurt. Becoming you to destroy you was one way. And look at you now. You're dying before my eyes. It doesn't matter what I become, because I know better than to become a monster like you. Ooh, okay. The dead rushes forward furiously, slamming a boot into Night Lord so hard that it sends him off the canvas, recoiling across the ring. Take a look at that beaut. That beaut there of the newly vampiric kindred dead. Just beautiful. Then we get static, the lights flashing ominously. Flickering between on and off as static plays havoc with our view. And just then a figure appears behind the dead. Who is it? He uses his hands, pulling the life force from the painkiller, who for the first time ever screams in agony. He fucking feels it. He feels every ounce of it. Who is this? Kane Night Lord abruptly stands, dazed in pain, looking on in horror. It's Banzan, the fucking mountain. Vali is here. He murdered the dead in cold blood. He just sucked his soul from his body. Night Lord begs and pleads. He drops to his knees, hands clasped together. Banzan struts over to him. Static again. He looks at him with a wry, evil smile. You're both making the ultimate sacrifice, he says sternly, pulling out the soul from Night Lord, who screams in agony. Banzan has taken the soul from the detective, leaving him a husk in the middle of the ring, much like the dead. He steps aside, taking a deep breath, and his eyes shimmer with a white glow. Now that is beautiful right there. Beautiful. Death counter up. Vali's going to kill everybody. He's going to come out after every match and just kill whoever was in it. Oh, man. What a twist. Beautiful. 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 All right. Night Lord. The dead. They're dead. And Banzan has taken their souls. He's taken their life force. He's replenished the wellspring. Sounds like our boy's powering up. Sounds like he's powering up for a big fight later. All right, here it is. Is this the match? The Impaler and Cronoa? It sure is. This is for the double feature championship. Who will be the last double feature champion of Volume 2? Will it be the Impaler, who's had a hell of a run with the title, or Cronoa? All right, here we go. Cronoa has spent the past year twisting and manipulating a single soul in preparation for the destruction of OSW. Her ultimate weapon is at hand, but first, one final training session to prove that he is ready. Will Cronoa have her weapon in hand for what she must do, or can the Impaler break free from her twisted grip once and for all? Excuse me. The bell sounds as both competitors circle the ring, the Impaler looking passive, almost as if he's waiting for Cronoa to issue him an order. And indeed she nods as she rushes forward into the Atom Smasher. Brutal clothesline turns her inside out, but the Harbinger is up on her feet, almost instantly cracking her neck as she urges Impaler forward again. Legion rushes in with a series of lefts and rights, before rocking her with a brutal uppercut. Cronoa is dazed as Legion grips her around the throat. A mammoth chokeslam! The Harbinger bounces off the mat with the sheer force, or from the sheer force as Impaler swings forward. Atom smashing her in midair. Hot damn. That may well be it as Impaler drops down for the cover. As the referee counts. 1, 2, no, Cronoa got her shoulder up. She stumbles back to her feet, right into a brutal knee, before she's lifted up high. Night, City, no, Cronoa slips out, leaping up, a picture-perfect twisted smile, the spinning heel to the back of the head. Impaler goes into the corner. The Mistress of Chaos wipes her lip. A small drop of blood pulling onto her finger as she smiles before nodding her head. Not bad, my Impaler, but now it's my turn. Her smile grows wider as black ooze begins to envelop the Harbinger, Cronoa becoming almost a shadow in the ring. Okay. As everything bar the whites of her eyes are shrouded in darkness, she nods her head for a moment. The grand conclusion. Sudden running knee to the side of the head. What's up with that shadow thing? Impaler barely even saw that attack. Staggering, back dazed as Cronoa leaps on him in a frenzy, pummeling on her weapon with heavy lefts and rights, before a brutal headbutt stuns the Impaler as he's lifted high up off the mat. Holy retribution, a ring! Shaking Tiger Bomb. You know, I've read it once or twice. Cronoa doesn't bother covering, instead backs up as she slowly waits for the Impaler to stagger to his feet. Failed, no, Impaler ducks underneath, rocking Cronoa with a brutal big boot before lifting her up high. The Night, City, Blackout, the running power bomb. He broke her in half. Look at that. Look at that. That image could be something completely different in a different context. Not once or twice. I don't think we've seen her actually do that in a match yet. What a power bomb! He broke her in half. Impaler staggers back to his feet, trying to catch his breath, but he made a mistake and not going for the pin. Cronoa's already getting back up. Legion turns around. The black mist. Impaler is blinded, swinging wildly, kick in the gut. Sit down, sonner. Welcome to the family, son. That may well be it there, but Cronoa doesn't cover. Instead, she straddles Impaler and begins to rain down heavy lefts and rights. With incredible force, it begins to splinter and crack the mask. What the fuck is she doing? Why is she cracking the mask? The mask splinters, beginning to slowly break as a thick black mist begins to slowly rise up the apron and flood into the ring. For a moment, both competitors are shrouded in darkness before it begins to dissipate and suck into the Impaler, who is on his feet at full power, the mask quickly repairing itself, and he looks furiously at his mistress. And she simply smiles, rushing forward, right into a brutal Atom Smasher that knocks the virus right out of Cronoa. The Harbinger looks shocked, staggering back, as one single shot put her back down to base form, and even she might not be enough for a fully powered Legion. Shaking her head, she rushes forward regardless, trying for another twisted smile that bounces off the monster. Legion just looks down at Cronoa with pity, as she scowls, leaping over the ropes as she springboards. The burning flight, but she's caught. Impaler grabbed her right out of the air. As he lifts her up, goes for the chokeslam, Cronoa slips out. Your fate has been sealed. Does nothing. Cronoa slumps to the canvas, shocked, as the realization of the monster she's created may well be sinking in. Impaler slowly stalking forward, backing the Harbinger into the corner, who looks on in fear before a massive smile crosses her face. She cracks open a bright green vial and swallows it whole. Running face wash, a brutal brute to the jaw, nails Cronoa flush, but she barely registers it, just cackling with joy, as the Impaler backs up, clearly confused, watching his mistress rise to her feet. Her muscles are expanding, a sickening wide grin etched upon her face, as her once gray eyes are now blood red. She cackles once more, rushing in, spinning Atom Smasher, but Cronoa tanks it, leaping back to her feet into a second, then a third. She's lifted up high. The night, Snitty, blackout, but she no-sells it. The Harbinger no-sells it once more. Impaler goes for a fourth Atom Smasher, but she ducks under it. Kick in the gut, Pandemonium's curse. Impaler spikes into the mat. Cronoa doesn't cover. She goes to the ropes. Your fate has been sealed. It hits flush. Impaler looks dazed and out. Cronoa lifts him up. She spins him around, right into an Atom Smasher. Both competitors go down. This war took a hell of a lot out of both of them. The darkness slowly fades from them both. Cronoa may well be at her limit as she slowly gets to her feet. The insanity beginning to fade before both rush forward. Hard left from Cronoa. Stiff right from Legion. Twisted Smile is ducked. Tornado Atom Smasher turns Cronoa inside out. He doesn't waste any time. He picks her up high. Night, City, blackout. A second, a third. Legion picks the almost unconscious Harbinger up, lifting her up high into the air. Tenebrous Malevolence, the brutal Tiger Driver 98. This could very well be it, but the Impaler isn't done. The power slowly draining as he knows he needs to kill this fucking bitch with fire. Slowly rising up to the top rope, he sizes up his mistress before diving and puts her head on a pike. Diving, knee drop right to the skull. That's it. Cronoa's done. Impaler hooks the leg. The referee makes the count. 1, 2, 3? Yes, 3. The Impaler not only retains his double feature championship, but he takes his mistress to her absolute limit. Does that mean he's ready for the war ahead, or has the Harbinger of Fate made a terrible mistake? Congratulations, Brino, for being the final double feature champion of Volume 2. Phenomenal match as well. Phenomenal match. I wonder, I think we need a kill it with fire counter too. I think we're going to see a nice number of those tonight. You know, I mean, it is the last chance to see them. So we're going to follow up with a segment with these same two. I think we're about to get the business. Where's Vali at? Please Release Me is the name of this segment. The Impaler gets back to his feet. He's had enough. He grabs at his mask, trying to remove it. Cronoa quickly gets back up, demanding that he stop. Don't! She roars. You have no idea the role you must play. I just want it to be over, the Impaler demands. His demands turn into pleas. Please. All these months, all this time, you must know that you serve a purpose that simply cannot be understated, she reasons. I've been training you, sending you into battle against monsters like Banzan so I can ready you for what needs to be done. The Impaler begins pacing the ring. He's distraught. Come with me and I promise you that it'll end tonight. Cronoa offers, her hand outstretched. The trial's end, the game's end. Come with me willingly and I promise that it's over. Legion shakes his head in disbelief. They don't believe you, he retorts angrily, talking about the Legion. Listen to me, Bo, she pleads. Just listen to me. It ends tonight. You have my word. Do not remove that mask or you'll not be worthy of what comes next. The Impaler drops to his knees, his hands loose by his side, his head lowered, almost shamefully. Beautiful, beautiful work here. Please release me, he begs solemnly. one last time. Cronulla walks over to him, places a hand on his shoulder. It's almost time, she announces. We get a flash. What is the flash going to be? And they're both gone. Ah, that's what the flash is. What? We didn't know his name was Bo, did we? I'm not sure. Did we? I don't know. All right. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I have a feeling. Well, I don't have a feeling. This is telling me that we're going to see these guys later. What battle is the Impaler here for? All right. Who's it going to be? Is he going to fight Vali later? Just make everything about Banzan tonight? Next up, a segment with Sigil. Sigil, the star of the show. You guys can't see it, but on the little sidebar of the show, that's Sigil's image. And a segment entitled I'm On My Way 1. Okay. Just as a note, before I go into this, there are two segments tonight that will be musically accompanied. One of them I will be reading, one of them will be self-read. Just a heads up. All right, I'm on my way 1. Here we go. Flashback. A man lays upon a soft bed of white fabric with pillows all around him. He frolics with a beautiful brown-haired woman in a pristine white gown. Everything is perfect. They laugh. They gently kiss. The man's face is obscured by a blur, but hers is present and beautiful. I love you, she whispers. And I you, my love, the man replies. Flash, don't go, she pleads. Stay with me just one more day. She comes up behind the man, wrapping her arms around his waist. It's just one more day, he says carefully and softly. One more boring day. I'll be back tonight once it's done. No, woman angrily. We get another flash. No, the woman angrily yells. Please don't do this. It's dangerous. I have to, he replies. I have an obligation, my love. You know what I must do. I'm afraid that if you go, I'll never see you again, she says with tears filling her eyes. With a flash, and then a boom. No! No, a weakened voice whimpers in tears. Please, no. Another flash. She's dead, the man's voice says assuredly. I know what I must do. I'm on my way, love. My love, I'm on my way. Ooh. Okay. There we go. You have to think this is talking about that Sigil is our obscured man here. He's doing it for a woman. She was killed. Or she died. Huh. All right. Very, very interesting. Who is Sigil? The question is answered tonight, and we just got one piece of the puzzle. One piece of the puzzle here. All right. Well, there's no rest for the weary, as I think we've got a visit into the toy box. Chip Montana and Seesaw. Here we go into the toy box. And it is a terror to behold. Bloody handprints on the walls, colorful children's tables, demonic teddy bears, and rusted old trikes fill the insides alongside a plethora of wrapped up presents. Of course, he's festive. Can Chip survive one final playdate? Or shall Seesaw finally put him down? Chip makes sure Dave is out of his pocket before putting up his fists and staring down Seesaw. Looking forward to this. Last night at Pre-Snow, we had a lot of conversation about just what the heck we think's going to happen coming out of this match. So here we go. Seesaw leaps with joy. as he grabs a terrifying jack-in-the-box next to him and winds it up. He lets it go and watches it bounce across the room repeatedly until it slams into Chip's face. Montana stumbles back onto a colorful table, and Seesaw makes airplane noises as he runs at him. Fly to the ornithopter! Seesaw slams belly first on Chip and puts him through the fucking table. The show host is out on his back, and as he tries to stand, he finds Seesaw has disappeared. Chip looks around wildly as the lights go out in the toy box. We don't see anything for a moment, but the darkness is soon broken by a plethora of lights. Seesaw has the Disco Dave disco ball. He swings it around his head and lets it thwack unceremoniously into Chip's skull. The toy maker uses his dead brother as a flail as he swings it around and lets it slam into Chip again. Chip tries to block, but he can't predict a single thing before Seesaw rushes him down with a shoulder tackle. As Chip tries to stand, the light-covered rope of the flail gets wrapped around his neck. Seesaw's choking the life out of Chip, and the show host is absolutely powerless to stop it. He's reaching to the tables for anything that could help him, and he grabs a jar. Smash! Oh my God! Seesaw just got a face full of Sea-Hulk finger paint. That disgusting jar of blood splatters his face and slices into his skin. That's disgusting. Mr. Make-Believe drops Dave's head and screams in anger as Chip grabs a blue tricycle from the far corner and rushes back with it. He smacks Seesaw over the head with the rusted trike, but he refuses to go down. 1, 2, 3 wild strikes to the skull, and Seesaw gets laid back out on one of those tables. He's laid on the young chef playset, the bunny hop. Chip nails the double foot stomp and puts Seesaw through that toy atrocity. Poor Doc. Chef's ribs rip into Seesaw's back as they fracture, and the toy crumples beneath him. But Chip isn't done, as he grabs the coffee pot made out of Chef's head and pours the boiling hot liquid all over Seesaw's face. Chip reels back and smashes the pot right against Seesaw's skull before tossing it away and looking for something else he can use to cause some damage. But Seesaw isn't down for long. He still wants to play. He leaps up and grabs Chip from behind and throws him across the toy box with a massive German suplex. Chip lands back first, on a plastic slide. The slide's been covered with nails. Seesaw, why? Chip can't move as Seesaw runs at him. He leaps and body splashes right into Chip. Montana has been fucking impaled on those nails. The animal whisperer yells in pain as he can't even move off of the slide. Seesaw peels him up and throws him into the center of the toy box, where he grabs a rope hanging from the ceiling. He forces Chip to stand and wraps it around his neck. No, he can't be doing it. He pulls the rope. Chip is lifted off of the ground. Montana kicks his legs wildly as Seesaw ties the rope to a hook. I present the Chip Montana Holiday Piñata. Seesaw jumps with joy as he grabs a present box and rips it open. It's the Memory Slugger, just what he wanted. He rears back. Thwack, thwack, thwack. Chip is getting fucking pummeled here. Thwack, thwack. No, Chip catches it. He pulls Seesaw in. He jabs a thumb in the toy maker's eye and lifts him up. He's holding him upside down in the pile driver position. The hook can't hold all of this weight. It rips. The rope breaks. Chip and Seesaw plummet to the floor. Down, under, driver. Beautiful. Look at that disgusting toy box. The driver, Seesaw landed on his head from 5 feet up. The show host spits blood from his mouth as he writhes on the ground, knowing full well that Seesaw won't stay down from that. He crawls away and grabs a present box, shoving his hand in and pulling out a Nerf gun. He turns around as Seesaw rises to his feet like a toy box Terminator. Now that's a hell of a nickname. He rushes Chip, only for Montana to fire away. Needle-tipped Nerf darts embed Seesaw's chest, but he refuses to yield as Chip runs away. He dives behind the largest present in the room, where he finds a remote. He presses the button as Seesaw lunges. The present pops open. It's the Freeman Blaster. Kenny Freeman's corpse fires rockets from its mouth to smack right into Seesaw's face. They burn away at his skin as he squeals in agony. Bang, bang, bang around the block. Chip clicks the button on the remote until the blaster runs empty. Seesaw's on fire and Chip wants to make it worse. He grabs a squirt gun from the nearby table. He's dealt with a toy box before. It's filled with gasoline. He sprays Seesaw. Mr. Make-Believe is ablaze, and Chip lays on the gasoline. Oh my God. Chip runs him down. Big, fiery hug. Seesaw just used his own flaming body to set Chip alight. Nobody's getting out of this one. Montana lays into Seesaw with a barrage of fists as he tries to free himself from the fiery hell he started. Seesaw collapses backwards and rolls around with Chip in his arms, cackling maniacally, until both men are put out. He rolls off of Chip, neither man moving as they fight to finally gather their breath. As they rise to their feet, they stare each other down and find, between them, in the middle of the room, the Memory Slugger. They both make a mad dash, but Seesaw has it first. He swings right into Chip's skull with a crack. 3, 4 of them. Chip Montana collapses backwards. He's bloodied and beaten. He can't continue. Seesaw has finally won this demonic playdate. And as he looms over the beaten Chip, he can see Dave the Rabbit hop right up next to the fallen show host. Chip Montana has been beaten in the toy box. What the hell is Seesaw going to do to him? What is he going to do to them? Let's find the hell out. I don't think it's going to work out that well for Chip here. In a segment entitled Dave the Rabbit. As Chip Montana lays a bloody mess inside the toy box, Dave the Rabbit sits questionably by his side. "I'm sorry, mate," Chip says to his furry friend. "I tried." Seesaw grabs him by his legs and pulls him away to his operating table, placing him atop it. "Let's see then, shall we?" the deranged lunatic says. "What kind of toy can you become?" As Seesaw maniacally begins making his new masterful creation, we watch on in horror. He unzips Montana's trousers and places a hand inside, pulling out his testicles. "I've just grabbed Chip Montana," Seesaw says, with a deranged smile. "By the balls." He chuckles wildly. "I've got lots of toys, but nothing to relieve stress. I think these can make some pretty good stress balls, huh?" "Over here, mate," a voice suddenly squeaks from behind. Seesaw can hear it, startling Seesaw, who turns around in shock. It's Dave the Rabbit. His nose is twitching. Seesaw looks confused. Confused Seesaw. "I can hear you?" Seesaw says, perturbed. "That's ridiculous. That'd make me crazy. And if there's one thing I'm not, it's crazy." His eyes go wide. Revel in that beautiful shot right there for a moment. What is next? Seesaw turns back around to see Chip's now deceased body, his testicles cut off and bloodied upon his trousers, as the deranged looks for a way to make the stress balls. And a roar! The sound of a lion roar suddenly stops him. He turns around, looking into the gaping maw of a lion where Dave once stood. Oh no! Dave's gonna be a shapeshifter. He's an animorph. "What the fuck?" Seesaw mutters in shock. With Seesaw stunned, the lion slowly begins to transform into Chip Montana. What? What? Chip Montana is the Animorph? What the fuck? The body on the table slowly slides into nothingness, vanishing as the lion, once Dave the Rabbit, stands before us as Chip Montana. The whole time. The whole time. Hayden, the whole time Dave the Rabbit was Chip Montana. Seesaw spins around to see that Montana's vanished. How? He demands to know of Chip. "Well, mate," the Aussie says with a smile, "things aren't quite what they seem. On one of my expeditions, we found this little temple, and well, one thing led to another, and I could spectrally project myself into any fucking thing I wanted. Mr. Make-Believe doesn't know what to think. So when Miles came to OSW, I thought I'd come along with him and keep him safe. But I failed, didn't I?" he admits. What now?" Seesaw queries. I'm gonna burn this fucking place to the ground, mate, Chip says with a big old smile. I'm the last fucker to ever fight in this cunt, let me tell you. Seesaw immediately panics. Run while you got a chance, Montana suggests, watching as Seesaw makes a beeline for the exit and runs away. With Seesaw gone, Chip takes a seat at one of the tables, taking a moment to think back on his nephew Miles. This one's for you, kid. It's the right thing to do. The toy box is being set ablaze by Chip Montana. That is a twist. And Chip Montana grabbed Seesaw's toy box by the balls. And somehow both of these people live in the one match we thought wouldn't. Oh, man. Okay. Hot damn. I don't think anybody saw that one coming. 0.5 on the kill count. All right. Hot damn. All right, Vigor and Whisper. Is this the match or the seg? Let's find out. It's the match. It's the battle for Earth. Vigor versus Whisper. Vigor has spent his entire life stifled and broken in a world devoid of anything but gray. So to the Prince of Party, Earth was paradise. Yet over the last year, he's had to fight tooth and nail to remain here. He's survived oppression, rage, and even death. But he's lost damn near everything in the process. Now his past has come back to haunt him as he faces off against the monster sent from his worst nightmares, the monster that took away his best friend Starboy. Can Vigor rise above once more to save this world from the void, or will his soul be rendered into nothing but a whisper? The bell sounds as Vigor rushes forward in a rage, pounding down with everything he has on Whisper, who barely flinches from the blows. Rights, lefts, kicks, knees, the Prince of Party unleashes everything, but Whisper's just fucking tanking every bit of it. Vigor grabs him by the wrist, trying to throw him across the ring, but the Soulborn refuses to budge, no matter how hard Vigor tries. Undeterred, Vigor stuns Whisper with a leaping kick to the jaw. He heads to the ropes, he bounces off into a mammoth right hand. Whisper damn near knocks Vigor out cold from that blow alone. The Prince staggers up into a trio of hard blows, one forearm to the jaw and a pair of knees to the chest, that nearly break bone from the sheer force before he's gripped around the throat. Choke slam! Vigor nearly gets planted through the mat, but Whisper is not done. He waits for Vigor to slowly rise up, a dark aura enveloping him as he begins to fade through the mat, almost like he's melting into the shadows. There it is. Vigor stumbles to his feet. I know what's happening, confused for a moment, as he doesn't notice Whisper rising up behind him from his own shadow. Brutal kick to the back of the head from the shadows. Shades, unintended, of Evico from Deathstrike. Vigor drops to his knees, spitting out blood on the mat, but he's defiant, staring up at the Soulborn, refusing to stay down as a large boar-like shadow looms over Whisper as he lifts Vigor up by the mat, or off the mat by his legs, slams him down over and over into the mat. He's treating him like a piece of ground meat. I feel like that's also a reference to Deathstrike. Vigor's ribs are screaming in pain as he's tossed back down to the canvas, internal blood spilling from his mouth as he slowly pulls himself up by the ropes. He's barely able to stand, but he still slowly crooks his hand, begging Whisper for more. What a badass, as the shepherd chuckles to himself, clearly impressed with the prince's resilience. But it won't be enough. Whisper rushes forward, but Vigor manages to duck underneath a mammoth lariat, leaping up onto the ropes with a springboard enziguri to the back of the head. Whisper's slightly stunned as Vigor rushes up the ropes, flipping around. Springboard moonsault wipes out Whisper. Oh, look at that. Look at Vigor coming for him. The Soulborn is up on his feet before Vigor is. The Prince of Party rises up with a giant headbutt that staggers him back. The gangbangarang! Whisper just nailed Vigor with a sling blade, shades of his fallen best friend. Vigor slowly staggering up to his feet, right into a donkey punch spinning elbow. This very well Could be it there as Vigor collapses to the mat. Whisper dropping down to his knees as he hooks the leg. Enjoy the moment. Here it is. 1, 2, no. Vigor powers out. Whisper reaches down, trying to pull him up, but he gets a double fist to the groin, doubling him over before the prince double legs him back down to the mat and begins to pound down with furious lefts and rights, enraged over the disrespect of his best friend's memory. Whisper powers him off, but gets a hard kick to the jaw for his troubles. Super kick. Whisper staggers back up. Karate Kid, fuckface, or cunt face. Whisper staggers back up to his feet again as Vigor bounces off the ropes. Another gangbangerang, no! Whisper slips out. The Soulborn fades into the shadows, but this time Vigor's ready, ducking underneath the high kick as he lifts Whisper into the air for the Vim and Vigor. Vigor isn't done. He leaps onto the apron, springboarding with the cascade of color. This very well could be it there. Vigor drops down for the cover. The referee counting on. No, not even one. Whisper powers out. Not even a 1 count. Vigor is undeterred. Oh, thank you for the follow, Sir Brune. Whisper powers out. Not even a 1 count. Vigor's undeterred. He's feeling it. He goes up high for the quick thrill, but he hits knees. Whisper counters the standing shooting star press with ease. Vigor staggers back, holding his chest. The Essence Strike! The mammoth soul ball to the chest. Vigor goes flying, his back crashing against the turnbuckles as he screams out in pain. He does not go down, though. Staggering out of the corner, he takes a few steps before he finally collapses to the mat, absolutely and completely spent. Whisper just smiles, flipping Vigor over, planting 1 foot on his chest for the cover as the referee counts. But the lights go out. There's some commotion in the darkness, and when the lights come back on, Whisper is down on the ring. Vigor is laid out on top of him. The referee looks confused. He shrugs. He goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Vigor has survived. Whisper absolutely brutalized him. But somehow, some way, the Prince of Party came out on top. But how? How? What happened? Are we going to find out? Segment, same people. The heart of Eden on Earth. With Vigor unconscious and atop Whisper, he slowly falls off onto his side, slumping to the canvas. Whisper, though, he's not done. He may not have been victorious, but that's the furthest thing from his mind. He slowly gets back to his feet and approaches the slumped Vigor. Enough is enough. It's time to end this. Meanwhile, high above the slaughterhouse, something's happening. Here they come. Ships are filling the sky, carefully and slowly moving through the cloud until our once beautiful night sky is filled with nothing but gray. They are here. The Ashen. Boom, 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 boom. Bolts of electricity fly through the air, ripping the ship apart. What? Ripping those ships apart in the middle of the sky. More ships. They're different ships. Who's here? Who's making the save? Back in the ring, the sound of thunderous war can be overheard, causing Whisper to smile. Lightning bolt to Whisper. It's Zeldor. It's Zeldor. Zeldor appears in front of Vigor. The god of Eden is here. Whisper gets back to his feet. It's over, Zeldor proclaims. The Ashen are being defeated in the sky as we speak. He held you off long enough for us to get here and defend Earth. No! Whisper shouts in rage. He rushes towards Zeldor. The spectral port. He throws a soul at the god, just as Zeldor throws a ball of lightning towards Whisper. They connect at the same time, the specter exploding as the lightning strikes the heart of Whisper. They both fall at the same time, landing in a heap. On the canvas, Vigor crawls over to his god. Beautiful image, as they all have been. How can I save you? He desperately mutters. What can I do? Zeldor shakes his head. It's over. Go back to Eden, my son. We've done it. Together, we've done it. Eden is a peaceful place once more. You can go home now. His eyes slowly close, leaving Vigor alive in the middle of the ring. Whisper's dead. Zeldor is dead. The Ashen have been defeated. And Vigor can finally go home. Oh, man. Will he go home, though? That is the question. But he can. He can finally go home. Hell of a segment. Hell of a moment. Zeldor was what it took to stop Whisper. All right. Ooh. Here we go. Here we go. It is Bonzen. Vali, we saw him earlier. And TGK. This is their match. It's for the Rewind Championship. Bonzen versus the Generation Kid. Before we jump into this one, I promised you guys last night there would be something of a game to go along with this. And it's very simple. There's dialogue in this match because I'm writing it and I can't just write a match. Tell me, TGK is going to have dialogue that are quotes from 80s movies. Tell me what 80s movie they come from. Here we go. Good luck to both of these competitors. Hope my match doesn't suck. Bonzen's wellspring is full after his killing of Kane Nightlord and the Dead earlier. We saw what happens when the near limitless power of Bonzen and TGK met weeks ago. How will TGK overcome the mountain, or will he finally submit to his destiny? In the middle of the ring, Bonzen and TGK stand opposite one another. The demigod towers over the robot, but TGK still stands firm. This is your last chance, boy, Bonzen says commandingly. Serve me willingly or unwillingly, I do not care, but you will serve me. You know, TGK says, your voice is kind of nice when your mouth isn't screwing it up. With shocking speed, Bonzen wraps TGK in his arms. The Snidos duplex, the Duka, hits flush. Bonzen immediately drops down into a cover with a grin on his face. 1, 2. TGK's not moving. 3, no. Bonzen lifts TGK up off the mat. TGK refused to kick out. Bonzen puts him up on his feet, glaring down at him. What game are you playing? And this is not 80s quotes right here. This is just a monologue. I get it now, why my creators filled me with 80s pop culture, TGK says after a moment. That decade wasn't about macho power fantasies or the depravity of man. It was about hope. How there were better ways than fighting to solve problems. Bonzen rolls his eyes, preparing to hit the kid. Just because your gun is loaded doesn't mean you have to fire it. Wham! TGK's face is rocked by a shot from Bonzen. The demigod throws that 80s kid into the corner, laying into him with shot after shot, but TGK just closes his eyes. He takes it. TGK is refusing to fight back. An enraged Vali takes a step back, letting TGK come out of the corner. Tiger Claw, the 5-point palm strike, but he tanks it. Go ahead, punk, TGK says, shaking off the blows. Make my day. Bonzen smiles. The gun one is not a quote either. Right, left from Bonzen, kick, chop. Each shot is TGK is rocking him. Bonzen is giving everything he has to demolish this insolent little brat. How dare he defy the demigod Vali? Maga, a second one. Tiger Claw, twice. Is that a 10-point palm strike? With each and every move to TGK, something is beginning to happen. Bonzen is shrinking. Wait, what? With every bit of energy, the demigod is expanding to try to destroy this little robot he's drawing from the wellspring, which it turns out isn't limitless. After all, after a moment, Bonzen stops. He taps his head a little bit, as if disoriented. TGK just nods, looking no worse for wear. It's not the years, honey. It's the mileage. Duka! TGK goes flying across the ring, but he rolls up. You're not dying, he taunts. You just can't think of anything good to do. Closing the gap between them quickly, Bonzen wraps a meaty hand around TGK's throat, lifting him up into the air. What are you doing to me? He roars. No answer. Another Duka. This time TGK doesn't get back up as quickly. Bonzen is tingling with purple energy as he rushes in. Another Maga. Another one. Look at that badass right there. That's great. That's a great image. He picks TGK up by the hair, snarling in his face. But whether he realizes it or not, Bonzen is not that much taller than TGK now. You will turn, he sneers, or you will be destroyed. Your overconfidence is your weakness, TGK retorts. Slap from Bonzen nearly rips TGK's face off. For several minutes, Vali is unrestrained, the mask of Bonzen fully off. He rips and claws at TGK, hitting him hard enough to crumble steel over and over. Tiger Claw, Duka, another. Bonzen lifts the kid up one last time, staring him in the face. But TGK only sees his creators. Dr. Waiwi, who built him to serve Vali. Dr. Wright, who built him to stop Vali. If you build it, TGK whispers, he will come. Marga! TGK goes down like he was shot in the fucking face. The panting Bonzen looks down at the little robot that could, rage in his eyes. He tries to shake the cobwebs out of his dwindling body, just as TGK has something more to say. That all you got, Spaghetti Arms? Vali chuckles at his foe before closing his eyes and assuming a very familiar pose. It's the mountain pose. He's in pose. Purple energy begins to surround him as he draws from the wellspring, the life force of all those souls he's taken, filling him with power. Finally stirring, the Generation Kid is on his knees, kneeling before the cackling demigod, his eyes taking the power, being masked against him, and for the first time, fear enters the eyes of TGK. All those moments, he whispers. Winning lambs to the slaughter, winning the Rewind Championship. A smile as Vigor pats him on the back. The unbridled joy of Starboy, all of it, will be lost in time like tears in the rain. The kid finishes. Finally, Bonzen stands to his feet, his body tingling with that purple energy. TGK shakily rises to meet him. This is heavy, he says. A confused Bonzen shakes his head. Weight has nothing to do with it. TGK just smiles and closes his eyes as all that purple energy travels to Bonzen's fingers into a goddamn ball of energy. Right into TGK's chest. It sends the kid's paralyzed body into the ropes behind him. It's the enlightenment of the mountain. TGK has been killed with fire. But wait, two things happen simultaneously. First, Bonzen, he crumples to the mat, a shadow of his former glory. The wellspring of Vali is spent. Second, TGK's paralyzed body hits the ropes and rebounds with a large thud right on top of Bonzen. The referee drops down into a confused count. 1, 2, 3. It wasn't even close. There was no drawn-out count. There was no pomp and circumstance to this victory for TGK. He took all Bonzen had to give, but in the end he proved he would not be Vali's puppet. He remained true and good. That 80s kid to the very last. So, weight has nothing to do with it, is actually what Bonzen said. And it's actually a Doc Brown retort to something that Marty McFly says, and that's why TGK smiled. An unintentional quote back. I thought it was a good touch. But there's the match. Your final Rewind champion is TGK. The kill it with fire from Bonzen backfired, and he gave all he had. And let's see what happens next with these fine folk. The spirits of the damned. The Generation Kid has done it. As the paralysis wears off, he slowly begins to stir, falling off of Bonzen. He did it without fighting Bonzen's way. He did it without violence, and that was his purpose. That's why he was built. As Bonzen kneels disheveled, a mere portion of the demigod he used to be, TGK gets back to his feet. I told you, he says proudly, I'm not your exterminator, Bonzen. I didn't come here to exterminate her. I came to stop you. I didn't come here to exterminate you. Let's not speak improperly. I came to stop you. I knew that to beat you, I had to refrain from fueling you. Why can't I talk right now? I wouldn't and won't ever serve you. I was sent to end Vali, and that's what I've done. Help me. Bonzen pleads, think of the power. TGK shakes his head, refusing. Excuse me. Please, please, I can feel them fighting their way out. He crouches now beside the former mountain. As you can see here in a great, great shot. It's over, he whispers. Suddenly and explosively, Vali suddenly erupts. Spirits flying from his body at every turn. As he screams in agony, we see familiar faces pouring from within the mountain and escaping into the ether. Bishop, Aesop, Sweet Alice, Dark Lord, Leaf Helvig, Gabriel Drake, Tenshu, Cain Nightlord, the dead. Those souls escape Bonzen before leaving him a rotting, dusty husk of an old man before the Generation Kid. Goodbye, Vali, the kid says, pushing him over with a boot. Your reign of terror has finally come to an end. The force of that kick turns Bonzen to dust, falling away into nothingness as TGK takes a deep breath. He's done it. It's over. Vali has not only been defeated, but destroyed. The souls of those whose spirits he's consumed like a succubus have finally been released. They can now rest peacefully, thanks to the Generation Kid. He drops to his knees, utterly exhausted, taking in a deep breath as a wave of calm washes over him. Suddenly, his eyes flicker. His head quivers and his body shudders. No, there's a sound like a loss of power, followed by the lowering of TGK's head. His mission is over. He's been deactivated. His still body remains knelt down in the middle of the ring, powerless. As we cut away. No! No! Damn it! Not TGK! Not him too! Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch. I really wanted... Well, I guess that's a happy ending. He did what he came to do. Vali is dead. TGK fulfilled his mission. Okay, well. Here we go. Ether, tag, Simon. For the tag team championships. Jet Set Radio will defend against Simon. Yeah, I'm bummed out after that one. Heartless bastard. Took the robot from us, the pure innocent. TGK. The Taskmaster has pulled Jet Set Radio strings for one show too many. After being wizened up to his game of Simon Says, will Tag and Ether exact revenge at Red Snow tonight? Well, let's find the fuck out. The bell rings. We're barely underway. Ether skates right at Simon and assaults the ever-loving shit out of him. Simon killed Wiz, if you recall. She slaps, she kicks, she punches. The bad random is absolutely laying into Simon. With a flurry of offense the likes of which we've never seen before. Ether stomps Simon into the corner as the raucous slaughterhouse crowd erupts for her. Babyface Ether. She circles back to center ring and rubs her belly to the fans in acknowledgement. She's a hungry girl. She skates back towards Simon. Double knee strike into Simon's head. The Mach 5. Simon's head bounces off the turnbuckle, and he flips forward to the mat. Ether rolls him supine and hooks a leg. 1, 2. Ether just devoured Simon for dinner. 3. No, Simon got the shoulder up at 2.99. Repeating, of course. Tag begs for a piece of the action, reaching out emphatically. Ether tags her bestie in. They stall Simon together from behind. As he woozily goes to his feet, and as he turns around, they rush him. Ether strike, 5-star facial. The simultaneous spinning heel kick and bicycle kick combo knocks Simon into 2023. He may just wake up in a pile of yellow snow after that one. The ref ushers Ether to the apron. Tag goes up top. He leaps off. The star fade. Shooting star press onto Simon's knees. Simon narrowly avoids disaster and manages to get to his feet as Tag clutches his midsection in pain. The Taskmaster stomps on Tag a few times before waving to Ether. She gets enraged. The ref comes in to try to stop her from entering the ring. This gives Simon just the opening he needed as Tag gets to his feet, poked to the eyes. Tag has a penchant for getting blinded by things, and he doesn't see. The gambit, the spinning back fist drops him to the mat. Simon's cocky smile makes its triumphant return to his face as he goes to work on Tag's knee, stomping, twisting, and throwing it down to the mat before bellowing out that familiar "Woo!" Simon twists Tag's knee around and locks in the figure 4. The checkmate. Tag's in a bad way, too far from the ropes and unable to make a move. As the ref slides next to Tag, Simon bridges his back into the figure 8. Will Tag tap? Not tonight. Double foot stomp onto Simon's arched stomach. Ride the sky from Ether. Simon's ribcage may have caved in, and the submission has been broken. But the ref, he's not happy about the rule bending here tonight. He tries to push Ether back to her corner, but she ignores him and just stands over Simon, pointing her finger and jawing at him as the ref starts a 5 count to get her moving. She helps Tag back to his feet. When the ref makes it to 4, Ether grabs his wrist and shoves her foot in his face. She leans back as Tag leapfrogs the ref. No comply. Fuck your face. Pop shoved it to the ref. The Soul Food Famouser combo knocked the ref out cold, and now there's no one to officiate the violence between these three. Tag and Ether tower over Simon as he puts his arms up in helplessness. JSR have been waiting to release this pent-up anger, and it looks like Simon's about to feel their full wrath. They stomp on Simon. They're stomping a damn mud hole in him. He's pleading to them after every kick, but they're having none of it. Tag lifts Simon up into a stalling vertical suplex, drops him down with a McTwist brainbuster. Ether drills Simon's head with a spinning heel kick, the 1080 skullfuck. The crowd has erupted. JSR! JSR! They aren't done with Simon yet. Ether climbs up to the top rope now. Tag lifts Simon high up into the powerbomb. Ether leaps. Tag powerbombs Simon onto his knees. The spray back Mach 5 combo. Jet, set, life. They cover Simon. 1, 2, 3. That's got to be the crowd. Yes, it is. The ref is still out. Ether shakes the ref back to consciousness. He starts to stir. She goes to drag the nearly unconscious Simon to his feet. Tag's got his skateboard. He charges Simon. No, don't do it. Ether holds him up. Cracks him over the skull. Truck fucked. Tag kisses Cassandra, then tosses her aside. Now Simon's on all fours. Ether and Tag point to the sky as they shout, "This is for you, Wiz." Tag whips Ether into the ropes. Off the rebound, he pops her up high above Simon. Curb stomp to Simon's head to the crowd. Delight. Fuck you in particular, Simon. The crowd's chanting, "Fuck you, Simon." Tag covers Simon. Ether nudges the ref towards the pin. The crowd counts along. 1, 2. Sweet, sweet revenge with a 3. Jet Set Radio. Retain and gain a measure of revenge against Wiz's killer in the process. Simon got what was coming to him. Hot damn. Jet Set Radio demolished him. Demolished him. The final tag team champions, Jet Set Radio. But is it over with him? The segment, Simon Says. With the match over, Simon rolls to the outside. He's got his trusty sledgehammer. Tag and Ether are back inside, stirring as he re-enters into the bottom rope. Tag's up first, walking straight into a sledgehammer swing to the gut, barreling him over. The mastermind walks over to Ether, placing the sledgehammer down on her head as she tries to get back up. Oh. No, don't do it, Simon. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Enough, he barks at Tag, who gets back to his feet. Another step, and I'll crush her skull. Please don't, Tag begs. He's already made up his mind, Tag, Ether warns. Just run. You never really understood, did you? You two worked for me. I brought you here to do a job, and you just couldn't do it, could you? Simon bemoans, and now I'm here having to make a statement at your expense. Simon lifts the sledgehammer high into the air. No, Tag roars one more time, stopping him. Take my life instead. Just spare hers. The mastermind chuckles to himself. A vile chuckle from a vile man. Simon says, he replies with a smirk, if you want it, come and get it. He pulls back as far as he can with the sledgehammer, driving it down as hard as fast as he can possibly manage. Don't do it! But Tag dives in! Oh my God! Tag dove in front of the sledgehammer. He took the full blow. Damn it! The blow full force to the side of his whole head, caving it in. Son of a bitch. No! The fans can't believe it. There's blood everywhere. The lethal blow has killed Tag. Ether screams in agony as it does so. She quickly gets back up. She's cradling his body, tears streaming down her face. Simon tosses his sledge aside, grimacing at the destruction he's caused. This is your last chance, he warns. Simon says, leave and never come back, or else. Ether nods reluctantly, crying all the while as Simon backs away, leaving her there to suffer with the body of Tag as we cut away. Son of a bitch. Come on, man. Tag 2. Here we go. This show is truly a bloodbath. Here we go. Here we go. On the ship, the fight, Cale Gable, Israel Grimwolf. Living is too good for Simon. Oh, man. I'll bet you did talk over me, boys. It's okay. The ship fight, Gable, Grimwolf, Israel Grimwolf meets his first mate in a battle that can leave only one standing. Can Cale Gable overcome his former friend to end things on his own terms? Or will Grimwolf force the Neckan's curse upon him to save his life? Grimwolf's own ship sets the scene for a showdown that's as personal as it gets. This only ends when one man is left. Grimwolf moves easily upon the rocking and rolling deck of his ship. He's got sea legs, after all. He runs at Gable and hits him with a shoulder charge. He drives Gable into the railing of the ship. Gable holds on, though, stopping himself from being tipped overboard. All Gable can do is knee Grimwolf in the guts and scramble away from his clutches. Grimwolf charges after him, but Gable unleashes an elbow to the skull. He staggers him, belly to belly. Gable drills Grimwolf right onto the poop deck. The Olympian mounts Grimwolf, unloads a barrage of elbows and fists to the sea dog's skull. Gable tries to hammer his former friend into unconsciousness, but Grimwolf pushes him away with the sole of his boot. They scramble to their feet. Gable comes in again. Spear! He tackles Grimwolf right into the fucking mast of the ship. Look at that! Beautiful shot. Look at that. That's awesome. Yeah, I was wondering what kind of ship you use for this thing. There's not really great ones. Beautiful shot, though. It turned out perfect. Gable takes a length of mainsail rope and wraps it around Grimwolf's neck. He pulls the end and the rope tightens around the captain's neck. Before it can completely take hold, Grimwolf unsheathes his knife and cuts the rope. The boom of the mast begins to flail wildly, with the unslung rope now not holding it in place. Grimwolf comes at Gable with the knife. Gable kicks it out of his hand, sends it soaring into the open seas. Smack! Gable is hit full in the chest by the wildly swinging boom. He crashes to the deck. Grimwolf leaps after him. Dead! Man's chest! Gable is down. Gable's still moving, groaning on the deck of the ship and not yet out. Grimwolf wraps the loose end of the rope around Gable's ankle and yanks on it, sending Gable soaring upside down, flying into the air 20 feet. He crashes into the crow's nest atop the mast. Grimwolf scrambles up the sheets after him like a squirrel up a tree. Gable is screaming, partly in agony, partly from teetering wildly, teetering wildly above what would definitely be a fatal fall. Grimwolf reaches him and grabs him around the throat, pulling him onto the crow's nest. High above the raging seas, the pair exchange brutal blows. Grimwolf rocks Gable with the right fist. Gable answers back. Grimwolf nearly knocks Gable to his death with another. Headbutt from Gable, another. He tosses Grimwolf out of the crow's nest. Grimwolf goes down, down, down towards the waiting deck of the ship. But he manages to catch hold of the sail, using it as a slide to soften the blow. But he still hits the deck hard, winding himself. But he's still alive. Gable skids down the mast after him, grabs his foe around the neck as the captain staggers to his feet. German suplex, right onto the deck, a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth one sends Grimwolf crashing through the captain's door into his own office. 5 out of 10 commandments. Grimwolf goes for a sixth, aiming for the navigation table, but he blocks it. Keelhauled! The elbow sends Gable flying over the desk himself. Grimwolf collapses to his knee, his body battered but broken. But his desperation gives him a moment's reprise. Gable staggers slowly to his feet, using the table to pull himself up to a vertical base. Smash! Grimwolf breaks a pewter a plate over his skull. Clang, a silver chalice follows. Gable looks groggy, but he still dives at Grimwolf, leaping off the table, the dead man's chest. Gable hit Grimwolf with his own damn move. Grimwolf falls backwards out of the office doorway, flat on his back on the deck of the ship. Gable looks exhausted, but he staggers over to where Grimwolf lies, still slowly writhing, groaning in pain, but showing signs of life still. Gable lifts him up by the hair, pulling him up to his feet. Thanks, Zach. He pulls Grimwolf up into a stalling suplex, marching him out onto the center of the deck and over towards the railing. The Puplex, no! Grimwolf pushes off with his foot off the railing. They tumble to the wooden floor like a pair of Skittles. Neither man is done. They pull at each other to stand, trading blows as they lock horns once more. Brutal blows that land without defense. Exhausted blows that rock each other to the core. Grimwolf Irish whips an exhausted Gable straight into the fucking mast with a crack. Skull meets wood and wood wins. Gable slumps to the deck, back first against the mast. But Grimwolf isn't done there. He backs up as far as he can, backing into the railing, before charging at Gable. Cannonball! He slams into the Gable into the mast. Bodies are everywhere. Gable might be out frickin' cold with that one. Grimwolf slowly staggers to his feet, observing his foe for any signs of life. Gable's breathing, labored. Grimwolf smiles to himself, but moments later, Gable's eyes open. That tough son of a bitch has a flicker of life in him yet. Grimwolf pulls Gable to his feet, dragging him up the steps, towards the captain's helm by the scruff of Gable's neck. I don't know where that accent I was doing came from. Gable swings to defend himself, but hits only air. Grimwolf climbs up past the wheel, stands on the ledge over the top of the deck. He's got Gable right where he wants him. He's gonna end it. The Black and Deep, killing Gable with fire, but no! Gable reverses. The super Puplex is at Gable's fire? No! Grimwolf hooks his leg. Both men tumble back down the steps back onto the deck. Grimwolf limps away from Gable as his foe struggles to stand. Gable pulls himself up using the railing of the ship for help. Grimwolf comes back, and he's wheeling a frickin' cannon. Boom! Cannon! He just ran straight into him with a fucking cannon. Gable is down. He's down, out, and cold. Or he's down and out cold. Sir Gable has been knocked unconscious by a frickin' cannon. Israel Grimwolf wins. This was only going to end with one man unconscious, and tonight it was Gable that suffered. What this means for his fate now, that much is for Grimwolf to decide. Hell of a match, hell of a finish. Dean, hopefully that ad you got is over. What the heck, man? All right. Here we go. All right. Is Kel Gable going to have to become the Neckin? Neckin or not is actually the title of the segment. Great. With that insane match over, Kel Gable and Israel Grimwolf rest on the boat as it sways back and forth. Grimwolf gets back to his feet, demanding that Gable rise. Stop fighting me, shipmate, he demands. I can save your fucking life. Why won't you let me do that? It'll sacrifice yours, Gable blurts out. They both pause. How did you know? Grimwolf asks. There we go. There's the twist. If I become the Neck, and what'll become of you? Kale offers with a shrug. I think we both know, don't we? I'm not here to take your life, Grimmy. We used to be friends once. I turned on you. I chose glory over our friendship, me hearty, he admits sourly. I should have never done that. You were me crew. Gable shakes his head. It's the past, he says sternly. It doesn't matter. You vanished to try and find a way to save me, and I appreciate that. I respect that. You've done enough to make up for your mistakes. Israel puts his hands on his hips, flabbergasted. Then what now? He wants to know, unsure of what comes next. If you don't want the cure to what ails you, then what next? We go home? Gable suggests. Or we sail the 7 seas? The captain shakes his head. You can't, he admits. His tone changes to that of utter sadness. Don't kill him. Don't do it. You don't make the journey home. Kale takes a walk to sit on the edge of the ship, his legs hanging over the edge. Israel walks to meet him, sitting there too. Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. We're going to let that linger. Beautiful shot. Maybe my favorite thus far. Yeah, shot of the night thus far. What happens to me? Kale asks honestly, hoping for an answer. Ye heart gives out, matey. Grimwolf tells him what he read in the death note. It just gives out. Then we sit together until the end, Gable asks. Israel Grimwolf nods, both of them sharing a hug as the ocean rocks the boat back and forth as we cut away. Oh, man, that's beautiful, man. That's fucking beautiful. That is the perfect finish. That's great. That's great. That's great. All right, I take it back. You're not as heartless as I said you were. Still a little heartless, but you have a little heart. All right. Believe it or not, my friends, text-wise, like the bar, we're a good halfway through the show. And we've had some killer moments. Killer moments. But we are trucking along. Let's find out what the hell is going on with Death Note and Jensen Cussin for the VHS Championship. Who will be the final VHS champion? Will it be Death Note or will it be Jensen Cussin? Death's son and Death's black hand. Jensen Cussin is here for one reason only. But can Death Note win this battle and erase his name from his own damn book? As the bell rings, so does it toll. Beautiful opening line. Neither man wants it to toll for them as they meet in the center of the ring and begin to trade blows. Jensen ducks and weaves expertly, before slamming a massive right hook into Death Note's stomach. Death Note retaliates with a massive uppercut of his own. Neither man gives an inch as fist meets flesh. Over and over. The hair trigger. Shades of DTR. As Cussin whips out a lightning-fast stunner that sends Death Note stumbling into the ropes. The author is defenseless as Jensen lays into him with a combo of strikes before finishing with a massive clothesline that sends Death Note right over the ropes. Death's son lands on the apron, and Cussin nails a harsh headbutt that nearly floors him before hitting the far ropes. Coming full speed, leaping shoulder tackle, no! Death Note catches him, lifts him up high, brainbuster right on the apron. He leaps to the outside, and Jensen's neck nearly fucking snaps. Death Note lays into Jensen with a plethora of kicks, raining them down with impunity before forcing Jensen up and running him right into the fucking barricade. He nails a knee to the temple that leaves Jensen fucking dazed before rearing back and running forward with a massive punt kick. The pen stroke, no! Jensen avoids it. Death Note kicks that barricade full force Vengeance capitalizes. He uses the moment to slam Death Note head first across the barricade before forcing him up into a bear hug. He runs forward and leaps, crashing both him and Death Note through the steel steps. Both men go rolling across the floor, and Death Note rises up just in time for Jensen to lash out at him. Wicked fast blows nail every part of Death Note before a knee to the sternum drops him to the ground. He leaps back. The super kick. The motherfucking Infinity Rush. That move has finished more matches than Death Note's ever been in. Jensen grabs Death Note by the hair. He can't pin him outside the ring. He goes to roll him in to put it into He goes to roll him inside to put it into the match. He hooks a leg. 1, 2. No, Death Note kicks out. Jensen can't believe it. He kicks Death Note in the jaw before begging him to stand up. The author slowly begins to rouse from his place on the mat. Jensen hits the ropes with a springboard. The curtains close. The springboard facebuster. No! Death Note's got him on his shoulders. The GTS. Gather thy soul. Go to sleep. The knee against Jensen's temple. He's on wobbly legs. Death Note hits the ropes before coming back with a clothesline. Straight from the afterlife that turns Jensen inside out. Death Note falls to a knee for only a moment before forcing himself up and climbing the nearest turnbuckle. He looks down at Jensen, leaping off the kiss of death, the diving double foot stomp. It caves in Jensen's chest. The author perches on top of him for the pin. 1, 2, is this gonna be it? 3, no! Jensen reaches up, wraps his hands around Death Note's throat. He pulls Death's son in, headbutt across the bridge of his nose. Cussin rolls over. He mounts Death Note, laying into him with lefts and rights before slamming both fists down onto his chest. He's trying to beat the life out of him, but Death Note catches a fist and fires back a punch straight to the throat. Jensen rolls off hacking and coughing as Death Note gets to his feet and hits the ropes again. The stroke of the pen, punt kick, no! Death Note fails to hit it. Jensen catches the leg, elbow right down into Death Note's knee. He wraps a hand around Death Note's throat, lifts him up high, slingshot suplex off the ropes, drops right into a brainbuster. The guilt trip. It annihilates Death Note. Or not. No, it doesn't. Death Note stands right back up. He's deathing up. He's fighting on pure instinct. He refuses to stay down. A wild haymaker nails Jensen in the jaw. Leaping knee rocks him. Death Note refuses to let up with a harsh headbutt. Jensen tries to fight back, but Death Note hauls him up onto his shoulders. The dying wish. There it is. The burning fucking hammer. Look at that shit. You can wait for the count. Beautiful. Beautiful. Death Note pins. 1, no. Jensen kicks out before the 1 count. Both men. No, a loss here means the worst. They refuse to stay down. They can't stay down. They trade blows back and forth once more, each punch rocking one another as blood pours out of their faces. Jensen ducks a wild right. He lashes out again with a flurry of kicks that pulverize Death Note. He can't defend himself. Jensen leaps up with a knee to the jaw that dazes him. Springboard super kick off the ropes, but Death Note is still standing. Another super kick. Another. The infinite motherfucking chaos. Death Note spits blood across the ring as he collapses. Jensen falls into the pin. 1, 2. There's no way he can kick out of that. Can he? No, he can't. With the 3. Jensen just put Death Note down. Death's black hand is toppled. Death's own son, your winner and new VHS champion, is Jensen Cussin. Congratulations. Hot damn. Hell of a match. The final VHS champ. All right. Well. Ooh. There's a third element to this segment. Looks like old Papa's come into play. The Power is the name of this segment. After that amazing match, Jensen Cussin and Death Note are sluggish getting back to their feet. They begin circling each other once more. Round 2, in the offing perhaps. I won't let you kill me, Death Note roars in defiance. Let Jensen asks, as we get darkness. Pitch black. When the lights return, Jensen Cussin has vanished. He's gone. Left behind is Corvus. Corvus, the Black Hand. There he is in all his glory, staring down Death Note. Corvus tosses his poison stars at Death Note, catching him in both legs and both arms. This disables him immediately, leaving him paralyzed and on jelly legs before falling to his knees. The Crow approaches, looming over Death Note. There's no way I could kill you without this, he says, reaching into his cloak and pulling out a dagger. Death Note's eyes go wide upon seeing it, realizing what this means. Your father gave me this. Suddenly, Corvus thrusts the dagger into the to the neck of Death Note, causing a guttural yell, accompanied by an explosion of black smoke. And flash! Just like that, Corvus is no longer in the ring. He's in the Hall of Skulls alongside Death. I bet it is. I bet it is the God-Killer knife. The black smoke travels through the air, forcing itself down the throat of Death. Death's consuming souls over here, too. The power, he grumbles. I can feel it. When I return to the visage of the butcher, Sigil won't see me coming. Corvus slowly takes down his hood, which removes his visage, turning him back into Jensen Cussin. That's why you needed me to kill him? Jensen asks. His power transfers to you upon his death, making you stronger? Very well observed, Death remarks. But that means you fulfilled your commitments to me, Mr. Cussin. Jensen nods. We get a click. Suddenly, Death clicks his fingers, exploding Jensen Cussin's heart from within his chest. No! Vengeance stumbles backwards, collapsing against the wall, blood pouring down the cavity where his heart used to be. No! Death has betrayed him. The fucking cunt just betrayed him. Betrayed, not betrayed it. Betrayed him. With a look of sadness in his eyes, Jensen Cussin remains sat, deceased, as Death flutters away, back to where the butcher is being helped by Sigil. Now he has the power. Now he's ready to fight. As we cut away. I would count Kale as 9. Hot damn. Hottest of dams. What the fuck, man? Alright. Ooh, what is this? This is unexpected. It's Seesaw. What do we have a Seesaw segment for? Okay. Okay. Smudging my glasses. I guess we're not done with Seesaw then. Dr. Fish. We flash forward to 20 years later. Oh, we're going to get Seesaw's finish. We're in a laboratory in which electricity sparks from 2 pylons, arcing into a poor being that screams in agony between them. Stood watching as a man in a red suit with a bald head, and he's smiling sadistically. He became his daddy. Father, he begs between bursts of electricity, please stop. The man in red walks over to the dial and turns up the power. Dr. Fish, he corrects him. That's my name. I'm not your father. I'm your creator. The electrical bursts finally stop. Seesaw is now Dr. Fish. The cycle continues. That's a great shot right there. I love it. I've been searching for you for years. Do you know how many of my brothers I came across? He asks angrily. Dead. You killed every single one that couldn't stop you. Fish shrugs. All those years when I lost my toy box, I realized I shouldn't be testing my father's creations. They were all failures. I decided to make my own. That's why you exist, DeVille. I created you, gave you a story, and sent you out into the wild to become. I hoped you'd find me, I hoped. DeVille lowers his head shamefully, shaking it. What do you want, Seesaw? DeVille says, calling the doctor by his original and most terrifying name. Fish laughs to himself, somewhat proud, somewhat surprised. I see you did your research, boy. He remarks with a snarl. but you exist to continue my legacy. If you can. Let's see if you're capable, shall we? The doctor releases him from his electrical restraints and watches as he drops to the floor. DeVille barely has a moment to rest before the older fish rushes at him, kicking him hard in the head. He pulls him to his feet, only DeVille strikes harder and faster than expected, grabbing Fish and ramming him headfirst into the electrical pylon. Sparks fly, and the doctor fries before our very eyes, falling to the floor in a burned and miserable heap. Ha! He mutters. Finally, a creation worthy of my legacy. I'll never become you, DeVille roars. Stomp! Holy shit! He stomps down on Fish's head, exploding it beneath his boot, with Andrew Fish now mushed between his feet. DeVille storms over to the pylons. This ends with me, he roars, slamming his head into the electrical pylon. He screams, his face burning and catching on fire, before he falls down dead on the floor next to his father. The legacy of Seesaw is finished. Oh shit, that was amazing. That was beautiful. That is the perfect Seesaw ending right there. He perpetuated the cycle. He did what his father did, and it ended up costing him. Beautiful. Beautiful. Here we go. Here we go. World title. Triple threat. Zero versus Pyre versus Luke fucking Storm. I'm not ready for this one. I have 2 bullets in the chamber, and I still think Mel's going to beat me. Son of a bitch. Mel, if you're watching, I love you, but you're a son of a bitch for beating me in this match. I don't know. I may win. We'll see. It all comes down to this. With all the shit that's been brewed between these 3, we shall indeed see if the winner gets to write history. When we determine the OSW World Champion tonight, who will be the last bad motherfucker standing? Who will be the last OSW World Champion of Volume 2? As Luke comforts Scarlet, remember they're at Luke's house, holding his daughter in the comfortable confines of his family home. You can hear the scuffle of 2 very bad motherfuckers outside. The glass shatters and Scarlet streaks as the visage of Pyre's cut-up body vaults through the bay window and landing on top of a pile of freshly broken glass. Storm clutches his daughter tighter as the door busts open. Knock, knock, motherfucker. Zero stomps through the doorway and he's on a mission. These 2 assholes have put him through hell for the better part of the year, and now it's high time for payback. But Zero freezes at the sight of Scarlet. Shitstorm, I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get that little girl the hell out of my way before I fuck your shit up. Zero moves towards Pyre, who's slowly getting to her feet. 1. Zero grabs a table lamp, smashes it over Pyre's head. 2. Storm frantically ushers Scarlet to the stairs as Zero charges Pyre. Shining Wizard, the 16 gigs of RAM. I ain't done with you yet, bitch. He murders to Pyre as Scarlet scurries up the stairs. 10. Home Alone reference. The shout came from Storm. Oh no, it came from Storm as he hucks a bottle of Pinot Noir at Zero. It narrowly zips past his head and explodes as it smashes into a picture frame of Luke and Scarlet on the mantel of his fireplace. What a fucking waste of vino. Pyre grumbles, looking on from the floor. Storm comes flying at... It isn't even the first fight there. Storm comes flying at Zero and the brawl ensues. A flurry of punches and kicks are exchanged between them. Storm pump kicks Zero into his Christmas tree, and when Zero makes contact with the lights, they begin to alternate colors and flash, going haywire and sending a shockwave through him. Storm pauses a minute to look at the ruined, wine-stained photograph. Damn it, that was my only photo of Scarlet. Damn, what a bad dad move. Zero is getting his senses back. The Storm leaves him no time and jumps knee first into him. The downpour! But Zero counters. He catches Storm and lifts him up. Look at that! Slams him neck first through the coffee table with the burning hammer. The CPU driver burning hammer through a table. There's wood splinters all over the floor. And as Zero, canonically he is, climbs out of the rubble he's met with, a fire poker to the back. Pyre walloped him good and does so again, but this time a bionic hand catches it. Zero yanks Pyre towards him. The goozle! Zero's hand is wrapped around Pyre's throat. Remember when you liked this, bitch? Pyre's gasping for air here, and out of pure desperation, she wraps her legs around Zero's arm and head, clamps them tight around his neck with everything she's got. The fire triangle! She's choking him out now. Pyre's shrieks echo through the house as she chokes the life out of her ex-fiancé, bringing him to his knees. And just as Zero's body starts to go limp, he catches a second wind, lifting Pyre up inside the chimney. Pyre's face smashes off the bricks. That loosens her grip. Zero lifts Pyre straight up into a choke and spit out power bombs her into the hardwood floor, the blue screen of death. There's a massive crater in the middle of Storm's living room now, but Zero isn't done with Pyre. He grabs the fire poker. She fucking curls it around her neck as if it were made of aluminum foil. Dream of me, bitch. He tightens it around Pyre's neck. She's struggling to breathe. She heats up the metal in a last-ditch effort to escape death. Wood shard into Zero's back. Zero yelps in pain as the blood begins to trickle out from around the stake that Storm just jabbed into him. You motherfucker. Wooden log to Zero's head. Pyre got the noose off. She got the noose off and managed to collapse in exhaustion as the hacker goes stumbling into the front hall with Storm closely behind. Zero's leaving a trail of blood from room to room. He collapses into the wine cabinet at the foot of the staircase, leading up to the landing where Scarlet sits watching on in horror. Come on. Storm rushes Zero, tackling him into the cabinet. They bounce off the wall. They land in a pile of booze and broken glass. And Luke wrings his hands around Zero's neck from above, looking to snuff him out. But a crack! A low-ball glass to Storm's head. Scarlet's scream grabs Zero's attention, and as Storm scurries towards the stairs, Zero chugs some of Luke's whiskey, then yanks the wooden shard out from his back. Ooh, you gone done it now. Zero growls as a bloody Storm crawls up step by step, pleading for Scarlet to hide. Zero pours the rest of the whiskey onto his wound before stalking Storm. That's some cheap-ass whiskey for a big-shot movie star, Zero quips as he boots Storm in the lower back. Come on, Hollywood. Zero pump-kicks Storm's head into the stair, but he keeps climbing. The resiliency of this man. Pictures of Luke's face line the stairwell, each headshot more arrogant and airbrushed than the last. This is telling a story. Zero's pelting Storm with him. Come on, Hollywood. Zero taunts as Luke finally reaches the second floor, and in that second moment, Zero heaves Storm through a door into what must be his bedroom. There's a massive tapestry on the wall above his California King bed, depicting him holding a trident while riding a great white shark in a monsoon, and of course he's wearing his trademark sunglasses. Holy shit. I just brought a tear to my eye. Holy shit, that's fucking hell. That's it, man. That's great. I can't even get a drink right now. That's it. Oh fuck. Anyway, back into this very serious match. The fuck? Asked Zero, as did we all. But Scarlet's on the bed, squealing at the sight of her bloodied father. Zero keys in on it. Tell Daddy you love him, 'cause this gonna be the last he sees your pretty face. Zero runs Storm through the sliding glass door onto the balcony. Scarlet's bawling her eyes out, screaming for Zero to stop. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Damn, Zero. Zero menacingly shouts at her before following Luke out, who's now bleeding from the mouth. He slaps a hand around Storm's throat. He lifts him up. He's holding him over the edge. There's only cliffs below. Absolute Zero, no! Absolute low blow from Pyre. Zero drops to his knees as Storm slides out to safety. The baptism by fire to Zero. Lightning strike to Zero. Pyre and Storm lock eyes for a moment. Double super kick, the super kick party. Zero goes over the edge. Swift kick to the nuts by Pyre. Come on. She took Storm's breath away with that. Drags him back towards the bedroom where a pile of broken glass lies. Fire in the belly, the X Factor onto the glass. Zero squeals as her dad lands with a thud onto the glass shards. Pyre catches a glimpse of the girl, but she's distracted when she looks up at the tapestry of Luke over his bed. She looks down to him, then does a double take back to it. She just shakes her head at Scarlet out of embarrassment. She steps towards Lucas, the Storm, who's leaving a trail of blood as he crawls towards his bed, looking to finish him off. But she doesn't notice the bionic hand reaching out from under the balcony behind her. You're so fucking pathetic, Lucas, she sighs as she leans over his head. Scarlet will thank me for putting you out of your misery. But Pyre turns her head just in time for a boot process, the big boot to Pyre's face. She stumbles out the bedroom door and Zero stalks her as she crawls to the stairs. Sub now, bitch! Pump kick to the face. Zero drags Pyre's head across the wooden pickets, making a bunk, bunk, bunk sound as if he were playing the xylophone. The goozle! Zero lifts Pyre up by the throat, dangles her over the edge now. You going straight back to hell now, Pyre. Choke slams her to the first floor. The absolute Zero. Pyre lands in a heap, but he turns right around. Downpour, codebreaker from Storm. Zero is teetering over the balcony. Lightning strikes twice. The super kick launches Zero over the top. He lands with a crash next to Pyre, and as they begin to get up, don't do it, Luke. They should have realized that where there's lightning, there's thunder. Moonsault by Storm over both of them. All three bad motherfuckers are in a world of hurt. They lick their wounds as they face one another. As they prepare to end this battle, we hear a knock from where the front door used to be. What? Hello? Anybody home? Oh, fucking hell, it's Simon. Oh, son of a bitch. Of course it is. Of course it's Simon. God. And he's carrying a bouquet of roses and a bottle of Merlot. Simon stops in his tracks as he makes eye contact with the three of them. He checks his watch and begins to backpedal into the living room, but he's not quite quick enough to avoid a bionic clothesline, the firewall. Zero damn near decapitated him. And the Merlot and flowers go flying into the air. Damn it, not the wine again. Pyre tries to run at them to, assuming, save the wine. But bear hug from Storm. You're going to watch this feature film and you're going to like it, he screams at her as she flails, watching Zero stalk her husband. Kick to the gut. Stunner. The punk city killer. Simon is laid out. Storm spins out Pyre. Kick to the gut. Stunner. The Gale Storm. Pyre flops onto the floor. The two men advance towards one another. Kick to the gut. Double middle fingers by Zero. No! Punk city killer! Pyre and Storm are down and out. Zero is the last man standing. It's a redemption story. The final and new OSW World Champion is Zero, who hacked his way to the championship as the last motherfucker standing. Son of a bitch. What a beautiful match. Great work, Jesse. Great work, Mel. Damn it. What a match. That was amazing. That was an amazing match. Oh, man. All right. What the hell is happening with these people now? I mean, listen. That's a pretty good overwhelming opinion. Simon must die. Here we go. Till the day I die. Okay. You fucking cunt. Those three words are roared across the room as Zero gets back to his feet, rushes across it, tackling Simon to the floor in a heap. The hacker uses both hands to strangle Simon, wrapping them around his throat. I'm gonna enjoy this, he bellows, strangling. Snap! Yes! With his bionic fingers. Clasped tightly around Simon Blackheart's throat, Zero finally snaps, breaking his neck. There it is! Simon! Ah, fuck him! He's dead! No! Pyre's pain echoes through the room with the excruciation in which it was yelled. Zero looks over to see Luke Storm sitting on the floor, or stirring on the floor, and Pyre now kneeling, tears streaming down her face. This isn't going to end well. Suddenly, flames begin bursting from her. Look at her. Flames are going everywhere. Like a firework. She's exploding fire in each and every direction. Luke gets back to his feet. He rushes to the stairs. Boom! Only a fiery explosion hits the wall in front of him and sends him barreling back across the room. Pyre, Zero yells, you'll fucking kill us all. But she isn't listening. She's distraught. Her tears fill the air with smoke and flame. Zero realizes there's a face peering at them through the cracks in the stairs banister. Scarlet. He immediately rushes over. Zero, the hero, ducking flame and fireball as he does so. The entire downstairs is now engulfed in fire, with Pyre at the dead center of the inferno. Zero reaches Scarlet, scooping her up in his arms. Luke Storm has been badly burnt. His once perfect complexion now serves as a half mask as skin melts from his face. He looks up at Scarlet from deep within the inferno. Edward Newton. He sees his brother. Don't die. It's Edward, carrying Scarlet outside through the fire and the flame. That's the line of the night right there. That is fucking brilliant. Edward's carrying Scarlet outside through the fire and the flame. That's a beautiful line. Reference to Neville Sheldon, Edward Newton, all wrapped up in Zero. The Tempest smiles, his eyes closing as a thick plume of smoke crosses his vision. Only it isn't Edward Newton. That was the mirage of a dying man. It was Zero. The hacker rushes Scarlet outside and turns around at the end of the drive just in time. Boom! Pyre's rage is thus that she explodes, condemning the house to an explosive end that sees it annihilated before our very eyes. With Luke Storm and Pyre inside, there's no signs of life from either, as the house, now broken, collapsed, and battered, burns where it once stood. You son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Scarlet makes it. Luke and Pyre doesn't. Dean killed both my guys in one fucking segment. God damn it. He should have saved the mural. You're right. Damn. Should have saved the fucking mural. Alright, listen. We got 2 matches and probably a slew of segments left. But I ain't gonna make it if I don't go piss right now. So, I'm a BRB. Alright, hot damn. I have returned. Feel much better now. Alright. Man, look at all those fucking characters that died. I can't even, man. Oh. Phenomenal match and ending here for my guys. Big props. Hanging Fire, a minute. Can do so. Ah, gotcha. Everybody took a bathroom break. I got you. Oh, man. Well, that's good. I apparently have 6 messages from my mother. Okay. Oh, man. What do you guys think thus far? You guys think thus far? I think this is just fucking brilliant. Fucking brilliant. Not a single one of these endings hasn't felt earned. I Thanks, Joe. Oh man, but the big ones are yet to come. Big ones are yet to come. I think we just have the Bellatorum multi-generational tag team match, and then whatever segments are associated with that, and then our main event. It has way more than lived up. Good lord, I just added the term butt fucking to my permitted terms. Thanks, Damo. I really thought it would have been Dawson that would have had that. All right, we're ready. Yes, smashing the. Oh, Dawson's not back. Oh, he's dropping a deuce. Okay. All right, cool. Let's do it. All right, here we go. You've got Lux Bellator and Sir Renault Rhodes versus Solomon Rhodes and Sir Sanctus Bellator in a tornado tag team match. That is a lot of masks. It all began with two brothers and a difference in the ideals of faith, and nearly 7 years later. Good God, that's true. Through fire and forgiveness, through betrayals and bowls, through suffering and safety, Lux and Solomon still stand on the other side, unable to see through the eyes of those they love, and now they've dragged their own children into this messy argument of theirs. Will the dragon's flames rise high and pave a path for Yahweh's resurrection, or can Lux force him into the light and finally give this long-suffering family the peace they deserve? Well, I don't really think that Death's going to come through on that, resurrection thing. The bell sounds as Sanctus and Renault rush forward. Sanctus spearing Renault to the mat as he begins to pound down on his cousin. Lux turns to his boy, trying to stop him, but he gets whipped around on his feet. Solomon tries to force his hand down his throat. Lux quickly kicks his way out of the Lazarus chamber, staggering Solomon back with a brutal headbutt before the pair begin going at it with heavy lefts and rights. All four men exchanging hard blows as Sanctus gets whipped across the ring, interacting with Solomon as the two set up their momentum, flinging each other forward as they both deliver brutal lariats. Renault and Lux slowly get up to their feet, both men on their knees. Dark unholy wish, double kneeling super kicks. The boot barely hits the face before Lux and Renault are forced up to their feet, pummeled with lefts and rights, before Sanctus lifts Renault up high. Yahweh's no! Renault slips down, dropping Sanctus on the back of his head with a snap German suplex. Look at that. Beautiful image. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Solomon is pummeling Lux with knee after knee to the jaw, trying to stun his brother for that throat-crushing chamber. Stun his brother for that throat-crushing chamber, but he whiffs one knee. Lux leaps up, stuns the dragon with an enziguri. Before rushing to the ropes, bouncing off, he spins around his brother, drills him down with the arm of God. Sanctus and Lux are stunned as they find themselves peeled off the mat and lifted up high into the air. Both uncle and nephew look at each other before Renault and Lux nod, rushing forwards. Yahweh's sign, meet in the middle, crucifix powerbomb. Good lord, that's gotta hurt. That could well be it here, but both Lux and Renault know they need a lot more. Lux pulls his brother up. Renault pulls his cousin up, both setting up for something big as they place them between their legs. Bad move, boys. Double uppercut to the nuts. Lux is doubled over as Solomon leaps up. Chaos Theory, the code breaker. Renault stumbles on his feet right into the path of his father, who shows him some chaos theory of his own. Dark Jesus doesn't go down, though, stumbling and out on his feet as he staggers into the path of the Chosen One, and a bone breaking in Percio. The standing side slam nearly driving Renault through the mat. Sanctus kicks his cousin out of the ring before the Templar and the Dragon turn their attention to the slowly rising Holy Warrior, and a sickening grin crosses the face of the Dragon. He points to the left. As he rushes to the right, they bounce off the ropes. Infernal Desire, a sandwich, kneeling super kick. Lux Bellator looks barely conscious, swaying on his knees. As he coughs up a glob of blood onto the mat, Solomon peels him up, drilling him with hard knee after hard knee, before a brutal leaping one nearly breaks his jaw as he tosses his limp form into Sanctus, who tells to lift him up before heading up to the top rope. Sanctus hoists Lux high in the air. Solomon steadies himself. Sanctus throws his father forward as the Dragon leaps off. The bloody penance. Crucifix powerbomb right into that deadly leaping stomp. Lux has to be done here, but the Dragon doesn't just want to beat his brother here, he wants to make him suffer. For the sins of Yahweh's decimation, he yells at Sanctus to grab something from ringside. He yells at him, grab the fucking tables. Sanctus rolls out of the ring, pulling one out from underneath the ring. As Lux is thrown like a sack of shit through the middle ropes of the concrete floor, Sanctus peels his father up, running spear through the ropes on Sanctus by Renault. Darth Jesus is up as he tackles his cousin to the floor, pounding down on him with lefts and rights. Sanctus staggers back, trying to flee, but Renault is on him as the two begin to brawl heavily. Solomon rushes forward. He tries to help out his nephew, but he gets speared from behind by a recovered Lux. Renault and Sanctus brawl their way to the back as Lux pummels down on his brother with hard lefts and rights, Solomon delivering a poke to the eye as he tries to scramble away, but Lux catches him with a hard elbow to the back of the head before flipping forward. Doom Lucem! Lux slams Solomon down hard on the steel ramp, the Light Warrior shaking in rage as he drops down, pummeling Solomon with hard lefts and rights, busting open the Dragon before getting up as he slowly drags his brother towards the entrance ramp and the Titantron above them. Oh yeah, we're going high risk. Solomon is dazed and nearly out cold as Lux slowly begins to climb higher and higher, knowing he needs something big to put down the Dragon here. Finally stopping as he stands shakily on top of the Titantron. He turns around. He crosses himself. He dives off, right? Moonsault! The Chaos Theory! No! Solomon Codebreaker's Lux right out of the air. Shades of Pandemonium 2017. Both men are down and out. Solomon, favoring his knees as a Light Warrior, just looks done. The Dragon slowly rises, wiping blood from his eyes as he peels his brother up off the floor, pummeling him with hard lefts and rights, before lifting him up high as he begins to sprint down the rampway, running crucifix bomb through the table. Lux crashes through, the wood absolutely obliterated from the impact. That has to be it there. The Dragon lifts up the limp Lux, throws him into the ring, but he doesn't follow up. He doesn't roll back in and try to cover. He just stares at the fallen Lux for a moment, burning fire raging in his eyes, as he peels up the apron looking for something. Not another table, not a chair, not a kendo stick, but a weapon seldom seen in the halls of OSW. A large barbed wire cross. Oh yeah. Just like his son once crucified a demon upon it, Solomon will sacrifice the heathen that wears his brother's flesh. He slides into the ring, looking to stand it up, but notices Lux slowly getting up to his feet. Some fight still in the Light Warrior, but the Dragon may well stamp it out. The Dark Wish! Another! A third! A fourth! Super kick after super kick! As Solomon is trying to scramble his brother's damn brains here, Lux is barely conscious as he reaches one hand up to Solomon, who slaps it away. A fifth super kick drives the last of the fight in Lux before he's lifted up and placed upon the barbed wire cross. The Dragon has bad intentions. He wraps the wire around his waist before slowly heading up to the top rope. Lux is done as Solomon peers down at his brother. One last move to finally end this war once and for all. But Solomon can't do it. This isn't just beating his brother. This could damn well kill him. So the Dragon hesitates. Closing his eyes, he tries to push through, not noticing Lux stirring and leaping forward, crouching Solomon on the top rope. Rhodes is stunned. Lux rips the barbed wire off him with a sickening scream, blood oozing down his stomach as he slowly climbs up top. Rhodes tries to fight back, but a headbutt takes all the fight out of him. As Lux cradles his brother's head in both hands, the dragon spits the blood right in his face. I should have never saved you from the cage. Lux just looks at his brother, sorrow in his eyes as he shakes his head. I wish I could have saved you. Disciple, maker, from the top rope, through the barbed wire fucking cross. Hell yeah, what a move. The cross explodes from the impact. Shards of barbed wire, pieces of wood fly everywhere, but mostly into Lux and Solomon, as both brothers Bellator have impact wounds everywhere. From the wood and metal, both of them bleeding out in a heap on the mat. The ring is silent. The referee just looks on as he begins to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is this it? 9. Lux flops over onto Rhodes. The referee drops in for the count. That's gotta be it. 1, 2, and 3. Yes, it is. The brutal war is over. Lux and Renault beat Solomon and Sanctus here. But with how the brothers nearly killed each other, can you really, actually call that a victory? Son of a bitch, losing to Hayden yet again. Yes, Bellator and Renault beat Bellator, or it's Bellator and Rhodes beat Bellator and Rhodes. Great match. Beautiful. Love the emotion in it. I think I saw, was it Zach? Zach write that? Written by Zach. Yes, great work. Beautiful. I loved it. Thank you. All right. Well, all right, boys. All roads lead to the light. Great segment title. Both men are broken. Whilst the victor slumps away, neither of these men look like winners. They've broken themselves here tonight. I didn't want this, Lux mutters. Blood seeping out from the mouth of his mask. After everything we've been through, I thought and hoped our story would end another way. Solomon takes a sharp, deep breath. After everything we've been through, I thought the least I was owed was my love. He replies through gritted teeth, I couldn't save her, Lux. Couldn't save her, but I could save you. They both look at each other. Lux crawls to the ropes, leaning up against them in a seated position. Solomon does the same, being helped towards them by Lux. Look at those bloody motherfuckers. That's a war right there. Beautiful image. Beautiful image. Searched for a way to bring Yahweh back. I spent so much time looking for him that I missed our final moments and alienated my boys. And for what? Rhodes muses. To get Thomas killed? And for Renault to hate me? Bellator shakes his head. He doesn't hate you, Bellator assures him, but you've made the same mistakes I did when breaking the seals. You thought you knew better, but you were being selfish and you brought my son into it. Solomon looks towards his old friend with sorrow in his eyes. I'm sorry, old friend. I love your son just like he's my own. You know that I do. Both men wince in pain, slowly beginning to fade away from their wounds. They're not going to die here, son of a bitch. Just then, Renault and Sanctus rush towards the ring in unison, sliding in to comfort their own respective fathers. They each kneel beside them, cradling them in their arms. I'm sorry, Dad, Sanctus says tearfully. I thought I was doing what you would do. I thought you lost sight of how important Yahweh is in our lives. Lux grabs Sanctus by the mask and pulls him in close head to head. Promise me that you'll let Sigil return you to your timeline. Promise me, Sanctus. I promise, Papa. I won't let you down again, he replies earnestly. Renault takes a seat alongside his father, leaning up against the ropes. Solomon winces in pain again, but places a hand on his son's lap. I'm proud of you. You were brave to turn your back on us and find your own path. I'm sorry for Thomas, I truly am. I can never make up for that. I just hope you forgive me. Dark Jesus doesn't say anything at first. Then finally, after sharing a look with a nodding Lux, he does. When you finally meet up with Thomas in heaven, tell him that I love him. Tell Mom that you're sorry and that you love her. She needed to hear that, Dad. Solomon nods. All 4 men now sit against the ropes in the middle of the ring, holding hands as slowly but surely they fade away. At the same time, both Lux and Solomon's grip lessens until they're no more. Son of a bitch. And a story that began before OSW even existed finally ends here at Red Snow. Fucking hell, man. Fucking hell. Right. What a way to go, man. That's 3 of my fucking characters that have been killed here tonight. God damn, everybody's dying, though. What's the list? Give me the list. Let's see it before we get to this hellacious main event. Seven fucking team. Dean killing everybody. All right, then, let's do it. Ooh. Look at Death. Death looking badass there. I love it. Match written by Dean. This is going to be cinematic as fuck. Let's go. A battle for the Death Crystal. Sigil versus Rain. We continue from earlier. Death stands over Sigil as Rain. Bald, black goo leaking from his eyes and mouth. His skin rots from his body, as if he's overcome with disease. What the hell happened to you? Sigil questions, slowly getting back to his feet and dusting the snow off. Death grimaces. I consumed the power of my son to be able to defeat you. Excuse me, he roars back. And this vessel can barely contain such power. Both men storm towards one another, colliding in a thunderclap of violence. The force of the collision is such that they barrel back into the house behind them, smashing through the brick wall and landing on the floor. They both get back to their feet, slamming right and left hands into one another, the force of which shakes the ground with vibrations. Sigil pushes Death backwards to a nearby wall and slams a fist at him. Only Death ducks, sending Sigil's hand through the plaster. That traps him, and gives the Grim Reaper an opening. He kicks the Collector hard and low, dropping him to his knees. All that power and a kick to the balls drops you like a sack of shit. Sigil laughs, kneeling at ground level before headbutting Death, right back in the same place. Death also falls to his knees. You're in a meat suit, dickhead. The Collector laughs, pulling his hand from the wall. You've got balls, too. That's good. Both get back to their feet, Sigil reaching out for a large 2x4, cracking it over the skull of Death, again and again and again. The 2x4 breaks in half with the ferocity. The Collector grabs him by the scruff of his neck, runs him as hard as he can into a nearby wall, straight through it. He approaches via the other side, but Death is not there. The rubble exists where he should be, but he's vanished. From behind, a steel bar to the skull. Sigil collapses backwards. Another! No! Sigil blocks it. They test strength, both equally as strong as one another. You're not as strong as you think, Sigil remarks with a hiss. Death lunges forward with a headbutt, stumbling him backwards. I'm strong enough, he replies angrily. Both men storm towards one another once again, locking up and tussling back and forth, each trying to prove they're stronger than the other. They stumble through the building until suddenly Sigil flashes open a portal. They both fall through it. Whomp! They land in the middle of the ring. Death chuckles to himself. You fucking coward. They're both inside the Red Snow ring. Let's see if that vessel of yours remembers how to dance, shall we? Sigil says, tackling Death to the canvas with a clothesline. Death bounces straight back up, ducking another clothesline attempt. He hits the ropes. Shoulder block, takedown. Sigil this time bounces straight back up, into a swinging neck breaker by the Grim Reaper. He chuckles to himself, demanding Sigil come get some. And he does. The Collector rushes him. Cosmic leap. But Death sees it coming. Sigil appears now. Placebo effect. The Vertebreaker to the Collector. Look at that shit. That's amazing. Rain is breaking to pieces before our very eyes, but something inside him still remembers how to wrestle. He gets back to his feet, standing over Sigil, who writhes in agony. Great image. Great image. It's time to end this, he growls. Sigil, though, refuses, kicking out at him and pushing him backwards. He pops back to his feet and grabs him, forcing him over his knee and barraging him with elbows to the face. The long road ahead. He pulls him back up and rips him into the corner. The Collector storms in with a flurry of blows. He hits him in the eyes, nose, mouth, throat, and body with brutal shots that Rain tries to cover up, but fails. Sigil turns around and looks to take a run up, hitting the other corner and coming back. Acid rain, the black mist, holy fucking shit. The black mist hits Sigil's visor of his mask. It's burning through it. He portals. He's gone. Sigil has gone. Death looks surprised. He's not sure what to make of it. He looks around for a few moments. The portal opens above his head. Sigil comes diving down through it with his mask anew. Diving, double fist from above nailed Death. They hit the canvas with a thud. So that's it? Death asks breathlessly. Your secret identity? That's your kryptonite? He rushes over. He grabs Sigil by the mask and he yanks at it. He pulls, and he pulls some more. And are we about to find out who Sigil is? He pulls it off. No! Sigil stops him. Sigil kicks out, forcing Death backwards and into the ropes. He pops back to his feet, but the Grim Reaper is there, waiting. Brother mine, the dirty deeds, the headlock driver, straight into that fucking canvas. Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. The ring, it collapses. Holy shit. The ring has collapsed with the ferocity. The Collector must be done. He must be finished. Rain slowly gets back to his feet, chuckling to himself as he does. You can't beat me. It's over, you thief. Give me back the fucking crystals or I'll fucking kill you. The Collector doesn't respond as first, but when his head finally lifts off the canvas, it's only to shake it in the direction of Death. But Death walks over defiantly, turning him over and laying into him with thunderous strikes. Right, left, right, left, right, left. Sigil's reeling. He's being beaten to death before our very eyes. Death finally lunges backwards for what would surely be the killer blow. No! A yellow portal opens behind Death. The portal is open. Sigil! Is he gonna... Yes, he is. He's gonna kick him through it. The portal is open behind Death. On the collapsed ring. What the fuck? Where are they gonna go? We get static. Everything suddenly changes. The entire slaughterhouse fades away into the background. We're somewhere new entirely. It's white. It's pristine. And it looks a lot like heaven. As the hue brightens on our screen to show beauty, Death and Sigil land in the middle of it. But this time Sigil isn't near his end. He's standing with figures behind him as a backdrop that we can barely make out. Death gets back to his feet, looking around himself in awe. What is this? He asks curiously, a little bit of fear in his voice. Suddenly there they are! The chief, Zeus, Odin, Anubis, Tammuz, Shezmu, Zakshapili, Shiva, and Ahriman show themselves as a figure stood behind Sigil. No, it can't be. Death mutters, I reaped you all. How are you doing this? The Collector steps back into the crowd as they approach. I control reality. He whispers back, so I made you a little bit of reality, or I've made you a little reality of our own for a minute. The gods rush at Death. They lunge at him. They maul him. He's taken down to the floor immediately, being kicked at and punched as the gods give him the beating of a lifetime. Foremost among them is the chief, delivering kicks to the head that make a police officer weep. He pulls him from the crowd and back to his feet, tossing him towards Zeus. Lightning strike to the chest. Rain flies backwards, slamming into the concrete floor with a thud. But it's not over. Anubis is next, summoning dead souls from into the ether to rush him, attacking him violently. They zip through him, cutting as they go, slashing away with brutal strikes that rip at the flesh of death. The Grim Reaper recoils in agony, only to find a noose immediately around his neck. He's thrust up into the gallows as Odin stands by, watching him hang, struggling for breath as he does. Sigil watches from a distance, taking it all in. Suddenly, a portal opens behind the swinging body of Death, who grasps for air. It's a green portal. Planeswalker! The Planeswalker, the leaping drop kick through the fucking portal, snapping the noose around his neck and thrusting him somewhere else. We get static once more. Another portal opens. They drop out once again. Death slams onto the floor unceremoniously before bouncing away. Sigil lands on his feet. We're in a familiar place. It's Ring of Dreams 5. Sigil has taken us back in time to Ring of Dreams. There's no gods anymore. There's no one to believe in. Rain stands in the middle of the ring, his eyes closed, taking a deep breath. The walls crumble. Dust falls from the rafters. This is what happened at the end of Volume 1. The building begins to violently shake as the ground almost eats away at the floor. Cracks appear in every direction. People are running for their lives, but he stands among it. Death is permanent, he growls. Life is temporary. Big chunks of the taproom roof, accompanied by large shards of glass, begin to fall. People are getting impaled and slaughtered by the debris. Sigil, but he knows exactly where to stand to avoid the dropping concrete and glass. He knows exactly where to move to avoid it. Death, however, is being clobbered left and right by falling pieces of the taproom. A large piece of falling glass impales him, landing right in his chest as he falls to the floor, soon squashed by a ginormous piece of concrete block. Say goodbye to your house of revival, he continues. Say goodbye to cheating death. I will not be ignored. I will not be escaped. Death is giving his own eulogy. Screams, horrifying screams. Balance will be restored. One final, horrifying scream echoes as the building comes down entirely. Sigil, meanwhile, pulls himself from a small crevice in the destruction, appearing unharmed. He reaches into the concrete, dragging the prone and near death, lifeless body of Death from it towards another portal. Another portal. That's great image right there. This portal is red. You see, he used the green time crystal to go back there. The yellow for reality. And the red's love, I think. He violently tosses the limp Death through it, following as he does. Static. We're in the void. We're in the void. There's nothing but pitch black as Death lands with a thump and Sigil with it. Death stirs. Still not quite had enough, though he's on his last legs. Trying to crawl away from the collector with everything he's got. Dad? A voice calls out. It's Death Note. No, please, not this, Death begs, looking up at Sigil with wanting eyes. Love. It is love, Sigil says with a knowing nod. The only thing you ever have, it seems. Death Note rushes over to his father, kneeling beside him. He looks beside himself, trying to figure out what's going on. Then his expression changes, and he remembers. You fucking killed me? He questions angrily. You? I'm sorry, the Grim Reaper tries to express through painfully gritted teeth. Death Note angrily stands up. How fucking sick is it that I'm the only thing you've ever loved? The only thing he could take you to with the love crystal, and you had me killed. The author reminds him. Death screams out in anguish and pain. He's both physically and mentally defeated. He reaches out for his son, who defiantly walks away, leaving his father behind to suffer. Sigil draws upon one final portal, a normal one. It opens, and he drags Death by his legs almost lifelessly through it. This fight is over. And Sigil is your winner. Hot damn, that was a fucking cinematic fucking masterpiece. Fucking cinematic masterpiece. All right. All right. Here we go, boys. Here we go. I'm so excited about what's going to happen here in the rest of this show. But we're going to have ourselves a music seg. I am going to narrate over this one. But I am going to let the music play for a little bit before I do. Please let me know if I don't have the levels right. I think I do. But if I don't, please let me know. All right. I want the one labeled Use, I think. Let's have ourselves a musical segment. This segment is entitled I'm on my way to, and I will start it in a moment.
I'm on my way, Lord, to the woman I pray for every night and every day, Lord. I'm on my way. I see my future in my right hand.
All right, I'm on my way too. Death lays beaten, having battled through time, reality, and love. Our final place is the Hall of Skulls. And death rests on the old skull carved oak table, catching his breath. Jensen Cussen's body sits slumped over in the corner of the room, blood pooling around it. Why? Death stammers in agony, begging the question. Is it power? He groans in agony, holding his chest. That's why you've done this, isn't it, Sigil? He says arrogantly, as if he has all the answers. We're no different, you and I. The Collector vehemently shakes his head, as we flash. I love you, she whispers. I would never kill the ones I love, Sigil retorts. You killed your only fucking son for this. I couldn't kill when I needed to. It cost me everything. Who the fuck are you? Death stammers breathlessly. We flash away. Don't go, she pleads. Stay with me just one more day. Don't go. One more day, she pleads. The Collector reaches into his satchel and pulls out the Ring King crown. Placing it on his head, he reaches into his many pockets and begins retrieving crystals, placing them into the crown. It begins glowing. It was always about power. But not for the reasons you think, Sigil corrects him. I killed a lot of people to get here. Death, the Crypt Keeper, Flavo, Winona, Malice, Darby, Sorrow. And me? Death says expectantly. You think you can kill Death? You're a fucking peon, you're nothing. The Collector nods, releasing a powerful blast from his hands that channels the power of the crown. Red, yellow, green, and white hues blast from his hands, ripping into Death. Rain's human form begins bursting at the seams, his screams echoing throughout the hall as everything turns to black. As the cloud dissipates, all that remains is a crystal. He's got it. Sigil bends down and picks it up, black rains reaching up his arms into his soul as he places it within the crown. Boom! A burst of black light flows into Sigil, or from Sigil, who drops to his knees in pain as the power courses through his veins. He's now more than a god. He has the power to control time, to control reality, to control love. He has the power to control life itself and death. He gets back to his feet, struggling to contain the power within him. He stumbles forward against the door. I'm on my way, he stammers. I'm on my way. Suddenly, the double doors Sigil is leaning against burst open as he reaches for the handle, knocking him backwards to the floor. He looks up, watching as two figures enter the room before him, slamming the doors behind them. It's Cronoa and the Impaler. Well, I intended the song to go the whole way, but we're just going to go with this. It's Cronoa and the Impaler. What the fuck? Why are they here? Now! Cronoa screams. The Impaler is here, and he's going against the fully powered Sigil. He stretches his arms out with power, releasing a monstrous burst from his mask. that flows through the air like a blast from a nuclear weapon. Everything not nailed down flies backwards as Sigil braves the storm to get back to his feet. He tries to fight against the force of it, stepping away powerfully. Only things from that blast begin grabbing at him. It's the Legion! The Legion of souls contained in the Impaler's mask are scratching and clawing at Sigil, grabbing and restraining him. When the blast ends, the souls are gone. Sigil is gone. Cronoa is gone. All that's left is the Impaler, who looks at a mask that now lays dormant, drained of all color and broken on the floor. He smiles wryly. Finally, released from his torment, Bo Harris stands, formerly the Impaler, smiling as he takes a deep breath. It's over. For him. Cut away. Hot damn. Impaler got a badass ending. All right. Here we go. Sigil is our final segment here. Or, I don't think this is our final, but it's our next segment. All right. This one is entitled Power 2. All right. Power 2. We're at the Glass Tower. Oh, of course. Of course we're at the Glass Tower. Dawson, I think our prediction might come true on who the aide of the Glass Tower guy was. As if dropped from absolutely nowhere, Sigil appears suddenly inside the Glass Tower. Before him are hundreds of monitors, watching every world from afar, including Earth. Cronoa appears next to him. It worked, she says powerfully. Our weapon works, sire. Flashback. What? Sigil's the guy? Or is she talking to him? We're at Death Strike. The competition was a success, she remarks, thumbing through the pages. At dead end. Everything flows in the right direction. I knew it! Dawson, and I knew it! The woman says confidently, happily it seems, I have no qualms with what I'm seeing, sire. Cronoa was the unseen woman this entire time. It was her. We turned to finally see the Watcher. He's now powerful. He's now powerful enough to hear your voice, Cronoa says, stepping aside. My name is Galactus, he says with a boom, his voice deep and raspy, and I created everything. A god of gods. I created the gods that created the universe, he says with a measured and stoic tone. Everything you see is of my creation, one way or another. So tell me, Sigil, what do you plan to do with all your newfound power? Sigil looks around the Glass Tower, looking out into the realms of space and into the void of darkness. I wanted to correct my gravest mistake. I wanted to see the love of my life again in my family, he honestly admits. Interesting. What if I was to tell you that the Ashen have invaded various different planets across my solar system, he announces. What if I were to tell you that I sent Whisper to stop Vigor from defeating them so that they could take Earth too? Sigil shakes his head. I didn't do this for Earth, despite my love of it. No, I didn't think so. But nevertheless, this universe is a mess, and I've decided to reset it. Son of a bitch. The Collector gulps. Wait, what do you mean? He inquires worriedly. I'm going to reset everything. I'm going to make new worlds and wipe everything from existence. I'm going to start over, Sigil. No, Sigil bellows. Please don't. There's a slight pause as Galactus takes in the plea. He sighs, shaking his head. I've been able to see so much on these monitors, including your origin. I don't want to talk to the creation anymore. Let's meet he who hides under the mask, shall we? Galactus says, waving over Cronoa. Remove the crown and his disguise. I wish to talk to the person responsible, not this facade. Fate walks over to the collector, carefully lifting the crown and placing it on the floor before taking the mask from his face. I'm just gonna finish this shit. Here we go. Here we fucking go. It's a picture. Who is Sigil? Holy shit. Holy shit. Behringer. Aha! Holy shit. Behringer. The 17th planet of the solar system, Prince of Halcyon. Oh, man. Hot damn. Behringer. I don't think a damn person guessed him, but holy shit. Okay, then. That is lore right there. Fucking lore. God damn. Behringer. Okay, cool. Let's flash back. Let's see what happened. Let's get our information. Zeldor. We're in a flashback. Zeldor continues to walk the main hall, soaking in the information set out before him. There are 16 statues of current planets. They're all here, all represented by someone in this competition, all bar his. There's an anomaly, he says to himself out loud. Earth, the Abyssal Plane, Medvale, Machinima, Honor Realm, Ataxia, the Broken Spire, Reptilia, Quart, Ionica, Sky Realm, the Shadow Realm, Skyer, Boswig, and Arcana. Zeldor says, walking past each planetary statue, but that's only 15 planets. Eden makes the 16th, but we're not represented. Who here shouldn't be? With that surprise in mind, he notices something out of the corner of his eye. It stops him dead in his tracks. What's this, he muses. Broken into many pieces, a pair of 17th and 18th statues barely exist at the end of the row. The planets have no name or information, as if they have been wiped from the Hall of Planets. And in the present, how is it that you portaled around the galaxy, Behringer? Galactus asks earnestly. My ship, Sleipnir. I broke it down for its parts and used the ability to travel at speed to my advantage. Okay, that was one of the nicer things I've done, because truthfully, Galactus, I've done terrible things to bring my planet back. Unspeakable things that have changed who I am. Okay. Earth shouldn't exist either, sire. May I remind you that fate was interfered with by gods who changed the apocalypse? Neither old-school wrestling or Earth should exist, she says defiantly. But they do, Sigil roars back in defiance of his own. They do exist, and that has to count for something. They could have rolled over and died. When Yahweh saved Earth, I was there fighting for it, too. I was in the thick of it, just like everyone else. You must think about it, Galactus. The Ashen have been defeated. The gods are dead. Humanity thrives and exists in a world that shouldn't even be here, but it is. There's a pause, an eerie silence, if you will. He's right, Cronoa. Galactus agrees. My mistake was giving power to gods that abused it and ignored their covenant. Zeldor sacrificed himself for vigor in Earth. Yahweh intervened when he shouldn't have. These have defied fate. Pauses again. I will offer you an alternative to a reset, Galactus says carefully. Sire? Cronoa interrupts. This could be a mistake. Silence! His voice booms, quieting her down. I gave gods too much power and they abused it to change fate and subsequently my universe. I will bring Halcyon back, end all gods, and undo the mistakes made by them. Okay. Behringer nods in agreement, smiling. But upon one condition. You must sacrifice your life. Yes! Berenger abruptly interrupts. That absolutely floors Galactus, who wasn't expecting that at all. Sigil drops to his knees, offering his life. I saw what the apocalypse did to those I loved, he announced with his head lowered. I saw what happened to my planet. If I must die to make everything better, then I will in a heartbeat. You understand what this means, do you not? I will take the crystals from you and destroy them. In doing this, due to your connection, you will perish too. You won't see the woman you love again. You won't see your family again. Your death will mean that they live. Berenger takes a deep breath and nods. I understand, he admits, and I'm willing. We click. Galactus clicks his fingers, and the crystals atop the crown that's now on the floor disintegrate. Berenger slowly falling to dust along with it. A smile, the last thing of his that we see. It's time to put things right, Cronoa, Galactus says with a waving finger. And you will be the one in charge of making sure that everything goes back to how it was. How far back are we going? She asks. Far enough. So we cut away to... There we go. To our final segment. A musical segment that I will not be narrating to you. You will have to read it on your own. I will try to scroll at a nice pace. And hopefully actually time it right. So, hot damn. What a bunch of shit here, man. What an awesome reveal here. Berenger is Sigil. He gives up his life to have everything, well, changed. I guess we'll see what the change is going to be here in just a moment. All right, let's play a tune. I'll see you guys on the other side.
The brooding ghosts of the Australian night have gone from the bush and town. My spirit revives in the morning breeze, though it died when the sun went down. And the river is high, and the stream is strong, and the grass is green and tall. And I find to think this world of ours is a good world after all. The light of passion in your dreamy eyes is a page of truth well read. The glorious thrill in a heart grown cold of the spirit I thought was dead. And a song that goes to a comrade's heart, and a tear of pride let fall. And I must believe this world, my dear, is a grand world after all. It's a good world. It's a good world. Let our enemies go by their old dull tracks, and theirs be the fault or shame. The man is bitter against the world who has only himself to blame. Let the darkest part of the past be dark, and only the good recall. For I must believe this world of ours is a kind world after all. It's a good world. It's a good world. It may well be that I saw too plain. It may maybe I was blind. But I'll keep my face toward the dawning light, though the devil might stand behind, though the devil may stand at my back. I'll not let a shadow fall, but read the signs in the morning stars of a good world after all. Oh, rest for your eyes are weary, you've driven the worst away. The ghost of the man that I might have been is gone from my heart today. We'll live for life and the best it brings till our twilight shadows fall, and my heart grows brave, and this world to me is a good world after all. It's a good world. Oh, it's a good world. Oh, it's a good world. It's a good world, baby. It's a good world. Well, it's a good world after all.
Just out in silence. All right. We're actually going to read here at the end here with this bit with Cronoa walking up to Galactus after all of these endings. With the book in her hand, the pages beginning to be written. How come you didn't tell him he'd survive, she asks. I wanted to know whether my decision would be the right one, Galactus admits. I didn't want to make any more mistakes. What now? Cronoa says, closing the book and placing it down on the table. There's no gods, no abuse of power. You made Mortimer death. What's next? Did Behringer show you that you were right? He did, Galactus says proudly. And now we watch. I hear old school wrestling is good. Which do you prefer? The slaughterhouse or the tap room? The company has both. Galactus thinks about it. Oh, there's at least one more. She picks up her book, flicking through the pages. Huh, that story's yet to be written. Galactus chuckles. But it will. Well, that's a fucking awesome ending. No words, man. That's, shit. That's perfect, man. I can't, articulate how, like, perfect that was. That's great, man. I think it got everybody. Fuck. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Dean, you were worried that this wasn't going to land. It landed. Landed big time. Fuck. I don't even know what to say. This show was epic. It was magnificent. It was just about everything anybody can say about it. I don't. I don't really have anything to pump this show up. I don't need to. It pumps itself up by being just this. I mean, it's so awesome to be a part of this, to be a part of everything that just transpired here and everything that led up to this. Yeah, listen, you're welcome, Dean. It doesn't compare to what you put together here. Just fucking brilliant. The happy ending was right in a lot of ways. I think we're all not the same people that we were 8 years ago. Those of us that were here, and really all of us, none of us were. And I think we've been changed by our time doing this and kind of coming together and telling stories. We've had some really fucking awesome stories. We've had great conversations, off of outside of that, just friendships. And, there have been highs, lows, loss, joy, and this right here was the culmination of all of that. And now we're going to do something a little bit different. It's tough to say goodbye, but OSW isn't what's on the page. OSW is the community. So we're all still here, and we're going to keep going for ourselves, for those that aren't here anymore. We're going to keep making this happen, and as long as we're here, OSW is going to keep going. And I think that's probably a good ending point. So stay tuned for Volume 3, guys. This holiday season, kiss your loved ones, hug your loved ones, let them know you love them, because that's what makes for a happy ending. All right. I'm going to go ahead and sign off of here, guys. Everybody have a great night, great holiday, and talk to you guys later.